transactions.
Got you. What are you guys working on? What's been top of mind recently? You obviously got out to Abu Dhabi recently, but I'm sure the team's been hard at work. What do you guys? What are some
Yeah.
updates with PayAI Squad?
Yeah, it's been a busy last month. We had our token migration, which definitely sidetracked us, but at the same time, super important for us since we are bootstrapped up to date. Now we'll be getting kind of fees for through LP, and that's huge for us. Helps us keep the facilitator running, helps us keep good talent around. So that a big part of end of November, early December was focused on that. But alongside that, we've been improving the facilitator, optimizing it, adding some more wallets so that transactions can be processed faster. We've been working on a fun project that'll be released very soon, kind of a merchant launcher, something to help merchants on Solana launch X402 powered merchants. So being able to launch a merchant that accepts 402 payments. Um, and adding new network support. So we're going to drop this announcement later today, but we've added another network to the networks that we support, and we're in talks with Near for cross-chain payments. Where we think, yeah, so that's kind of what we've been doing, and we've I could go into a list if you want now or later of what we've got coming up that we're looking at.
Let's do the list. But I do want to talk a bit about this token migration. So you guys, up until recently, haven't earned any fees from.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's been dude that whole hype
Yeah,
cycle and
bro.
all.
You were on the show and it was $4 million PAI, and it ripped to like $80 million in the
Yeah,
like
And there was
week
no fees from
after.
that.
no fees,
Oh,
unfortunately.
Damn, bro.
It's
That's
a bitch. Yeah, it's a pain for sure. And that alone, that must have been over 100 million in volume. So that would have been
yeah.
a million in fees. Well, I mean,
Dare I
maybe
say
less
the
than that.
MCG effect on that? I don't know, but that was a legit run. That was
Yeah,
definitely a legit
I
run.
think you guys had us at a great time. There had been a lot of hype building up ahead of it. With the Cloudflare, I mean, we talked about all of that during the last show as well.
Yeah.
Cloudflare announcing support and Google and all of that. Yeah, it was perfect storm, man. And I'm sure your audience is very happy about that.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So the migration was in part to get more ownership of the token, as well as maybe earn more fees going forward. Or walk me through that.
For sure. So with the migration, we've moved to, well, the main thing is we get to control our LP, right? So we can, there's a lot that you can do when you have that. Um, One of the big things is we can get fees now. The other big thing is we can provide liquidity in different places. So PancakeSwap, for example, is making a push to Solana and is providing rewards for LPers. So we can um, in a few, maybe next week or something, we're looking to get a farm set up or provide LP there and get rewards from their farm, basically, which it all helps us in terms of expanding, running the facilitator, getting good talent, doing community incentives. Same thing with, or sorry, like hackathons and bounties and things like that. Same thing with the fees, the quote unquote creator fees that we'll get now. So yeah, we're super happy to have done that. We used migrate.fun, which was also very helpful. I've done a migration before, and like the last thing you want is a technical blunder throughout the migration. And so having someone like migrate.fun handle that part, as well as a lot of the like comms and dealing with exchanges. It was actually a headache, man, because we got listed on so many exchanges during that run up, and the migration was happening like 1 or 2 weeks after. So we had to interface with like 10 different more or less like 10 different exchanges and do token swaps and
And
a
did
lot
you
of
migrate from Pump Radium to Pump Swap, or what was the migration?
we went from pump radium just to radium,
Okay.
and we yeah were approached by pump swap during the time that we were going to migrate, but unfortunately just a little too late because we had already put out comms and already set a plan in place. There are a lot of projects that are migrating to pump swap this end of this month, so it'll be nice to see how that goes, and I hope we've set it up in a way where we can still provide liquidity on pump swap in the future.
Can I ask about your work with Radium real quick? We hear a lot about Pump Swap, a lot about Meteora, but we don't hear very much from the Radium team. Do they have like a quiet team working away on PD, or is it like completely just a non and
Yeah,
yeah?
no, just anon and neutral, and I think that's we want to be neutral, so that way, if somebody wants us on their platform, then we can get some good deals that way. So it's kind of like we're not in any camp at the moment, and yeah, like Pancake Swap might be the first thing that we do. But yeah, the having control of our LP is the main benefit here because we can be flexible. We don't want to lock it up and burn it on any platform. We'll just lock it up for months at a time, and then once it unlocks, we can relock it or move it to where we are in demand or where we're getting good deals, basically.
When thinking about this migration, did you talk to the Pump Fund team or the Meteor team and see, because you mentioned deals, like specifically you said the word deals, and did anyone throw you a bag to migrate over to a specific liquidity provider
Um,
pool? Or
yeah, no, not a bag. The only bag is this Pancake Swap rewards that we'll be getting for providing some liquidity there. It'll be like paid in Pancake and Cake, and we can obviously hold it or sell it. Uh, but Pump Fund approached us, and they were doing they're making a push to ICM, right? And they kind of see our CPAI as an ICM project, and they want to, they have a whole effort to kind of push to not just memes but to ICM, and they'll spotlight you and kind of co-market you, etc.
Yeah, I like it. I want to chat about X402 generally. Obviously, hot narrative, Coinbase backing it, all the things happening. Narrative sparks after MCG. Maybe it was MCG, I don't know, but it takes off. Either way, you can see the growth of Solana X402 transaction count here. Shout out Rishin Sharma.
Yeah.
Shout out Rish. Yeah, just talk about a bit about the growth of X402. Is this real or is it all narrative?
Yeah, yeah. Big shout out to Rish. He's one of our main contacts at the foundation, and he's been super helpful. Got to meet him at Breakpoint, and it was great. Um, yeah, the growth is real. It's mixed, right? A lot of people complain that a lot of the volumes that you see are kind of wash trading or merchants trying to get to the top of the leaderboards by doing a lot of transactions or doing a lot of volume in terms of dollars settled. But amongst that, there are a lot of also good use cases and real use cases and people that are doing legit things. Even the people wash trading, like, or it's not wash trading, it's like wash, I don't know, whatever, trying to climb the leaderboards inorganically. Um, like even they kind of have good use cases. They're kind of maybe exaggerating what they're doing, but you'll see like some data, some market analysis bots, uh, some inference LLM. So like paying per use for your chat GPT instead of having to get a subscription. One that I really liked on Solana was Hollow World, which is kind of an AI studio. They I think it was their first, and they're planning to do more. They did kind of a ticket sale through using X402, and so there's this project called Fight ID, which is partnered with the UFC. It's kind of like a way to get some um, points or reward or loyalty points and spend them in the UFC ecosystem. Uh, and they did a fight pass launch on Solana. They used the Pay AI facilitator. I thought that was one of the coolest things. They basically sold um, I believe it was 3,000 tickets for $50 each.
wow,
Basically, yeah, like 150K total in volume. And apparently it went super smooth. I reached out to them after. They said, yeah, it was a great experience. And so that really excited me. And I can see like, yeah, ticket sales are a great use case that fits so naturally into X402. Any one-time purchase fits very cleanly at the moment into X402. Things like donations and tipping, things like ticket sales, things like if you want to sell like stock photos, etc. And so like those are all use cases that today, without any additional development of the protocol, you can kind of plug all payments for all of those things using X402.
that's a really nice test case there. When you get test case like that, how do you go to other people, or I don't know, maybe from your standpoint, what does this look like? Where you take these test case and say, hey, X42 maybe is a better route than these traditional methods that people are used to. Is that something you're doing, or like how are you using test case like this per se to really help the mission?
Yeah, well, definitely for sure. Like that's a strong highlight of what's possible with X402, and surely they hell it's the facilitator's still free at the moment, so for them it really didn't cost anything. It was actually cheaper than they most than even if they were to do it on their own, right, and facilitate their own transactions. And so facilitator won't be free forever, but in this specific case, like that's a major benefit. And like even going forward, even when the facilitator has fees, it's much cheaper than going through Stripe or your classic payment processors. And so as a case study, that's super useful to show to people. We haven't been approaching Web2 businesses just yet. It is planned for next year, and things like that will definitely be something that we point to when we approach these businesses.
So what's the real mode here? Is it affordability?
Uh, one of is definitely affordability. The other is simplicity. So, in a way, you can just accept stablecoin payments using a few lines of code. That's the like if you install some server middleware, like some prepackaged code, and you just add a few lines of code, um, you should be able to accept X402 payments. And yeah, simplicity is a big one. The way I see it, it's kind of like as stablecoin payments become more and more of a thing, I think we can now approach Web2 businesses and say, hey, you should add a new payment channel to your business. Stablecoins, they're being widely accepted or more and more widely accepted now. And X402 is the vehicle that you can do that with.
Love it. This list you had, you were originally going to get into a list of things you guys have been working on or achieved since maybe the last time we even had this conversation back when you guys were just 4
Yeah,
million market cap. What maybe go through some of those achievements.
yeah. I mean, so much has happened. That whole run definitely tested our systems. We got way more volume than we were equipped to handle, and so we quickly fixed the facilitator. Got went through some growing pains, especially on EVM. Like one big one is transactions on EVM require a nonce. It's like a number that is unique to the transaction, and if you want to send like 100 transactions in a minute, um, you really got to manage that nonce carefully. And if it gets out of sync, it can kind of like throw your whole facilitator into a degraded state. And so a big part of that was like figuring out how to deal with these nonces, how to get as many transactions as we can inside a block so that it's faster. And we've got more improvements that are kind of planned and will be implemented soon. So that's a big one. Just improve, taking the volume that we got and improving the facilitator with it to kind of build as best of an experience as we can, so that we can be competitive in the market. The other thing is um, we've added some support for new networks, I believe, since we added perhaps Peak. And there's another one that there's X Layer that had approached us. This is alpha right now. We'll be announcing this later, but X Layer as a network, which is OKX's chain.
Mm.
Some other things that are exciting to us is Coinbase. I believe after seeing the scale of what happened, um, when Coinbase had first kind of thought up of the X402 protocol, they thought facilitators would be free. They would settle transactions on behalf of users for free. And a couple weeks ago, they came out saying in January they're going to turn on fees for the facilitator, which is huge for not just us but any other facilitator in the space, because now it's kind of a viable business model. Um, and so something we have planned for early next year is we'll turn on fees as well, and Pay AI can be used to pay for this as well with a discount, and that Pay AI would be locked or burned. So that's huge.
So, question: what changed in the Coinbase research that made them think now all of a sudden fees can be switched on for this, and in fact, we're not going to have free facilitators. It will be a paid service.
Yeah, good question. I can only guess, but I think seeing the scale of seeing like the number of transactions that happen, and then projecting forward to if this was like hobbyists and just indie devs building with X402 and crypto ecosystem kind of minting tokens using X402, if this is just the start, and it costs so much, can you imagine thousands of transactions per minute, or like millions or hundreds of millions per day? uh, Number one, I think that alone is enough. But the other thing is, as you go multi-network, so like Coinbase on Base, if they're paying on Base with ETH, it kind of goes back to them. But like if they're trying to make a push into Solana or other networks, they don't recover that Sol or whatever that they're paying for network fees. So that could be another reason. And then a third reason maybe could be to just encourage diversity of facilitators, to make it a viable business model, to let facilitators other than Coinbase kind of emerge, and maybe they see that as a way to give the X402 protocol as a protocol a stronger chance at success.
I think you definitely need that to attract business and attract people building. What do fees look like? Is it a percent? Is it a flat, let's
Mhm.
say 1 penny? How do fees work for these types of transactions?
Yeah, at the moment, and I think it'll change. I think at the moment, the way they've designed it is, after you do 1,000 transactions as a merchant, after they've settled 1,000 transactions on your behalf, you'll pay 0.001, so 1/10 of a cent per transaction, and that's more or less the current cost of gas per transaction on Base. So it's not like they're profiting, but they're just recovering the payment. And that's why I think it'll change as well. So I don't think this is the final model. I think the pricing structure will change in the future. Some other like another facilitator that has turned on fees was ThirdWeb. ThirdWeb takes 0.3% per transaction, so it's not a flat fee. It's based on the amount. And then for us, we're still thinking about how we'll do it. The easy thing would be to just follow Coinbase and then readjust as we get more data about how people are using the facilitator. Um, so yeah, we're still thinking about it. But yeah, it could be a percentage or it could be a flat fee per transaction. One interesting thing is Stripe recently came out and said 1.5% per transaction. This is outside of X402. This is just stablecoin payments with Stripe. 1.5% fee per payment.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to keep running down that list. That was a lot of information there, but banger.
Yeah. We'll be releasing a fun merchant for the holidays, kind of a way to help Solana devs launch merchants, and we're hoping that that'll get some good volume on Solana. Look out for that. I hope
Can you explain what that looks like a little bit more?
I want to keep. I know, like, I know you guys don't like me to tease too much, but we did it a bit on the last space. Basically, it's a way for devs to kind of click around and launch a merchant, and then they'll have it hosted on their own infrastructure on Vercel, and they'll be able to extend it however they want. But it's a way to make it easy to at least get started with a merchant, and then if they want to go in and write some more code or change the code, then they can. But you're kind of getting something packaged out of the box that you can use and launch. And we're theming it a bit for the holidays, so yeah, it'll be coming out, hoping later this week, at the latest next week. So look out for that.
Yeah, great timing on that. Josh I think has formerly worked in the advertising world, and as Josh, I'm sure you know, this is the biggest quarter by far when it comes to merchants and sales and consumer products, etc.
And then it drops off in January to near zero, and you got to spend all year building it up. Yeah.
Yes. Why is that a mixture of like tax season paired with just holiday season?
No, it's just consumer spending trends. So if you think about the consumer, they save all year, spend it during the holidays. Like Q4 was our busiest advertising season. I would say Q4 is almost like 5 times bigger than Q1 in terms of spend. And then, everyone in January is like, oh, I got to pay my mortgage. I shouldn't have spent all my money. My credit card bill's high, and then you build it up throughout the year. That's usually how it works.
Yeah. So good timing. Excited to see that you said launching hopefully in the next week or two.
Yeah, it should be end of this week or early next week.
Try end of this week, because by next week people are sipping on eggnog with rum in it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the hope is to get some of that like holiday spirit, just people chilling and feeling the joy of the holidays. Let's see.
Depending on how Bitcoin's looking, we'll be seeing how Bitcoin enjoys these holidays.
And this is such a contrast to last year. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, it is actually. I was seeing some posts about that earlier as well. It's like you just know a couple weeks before the holidays if it's gonna be one of those holidays where you're gonna be locked in on your computer the entire time, or like enjoying it, kind of chilling out. And this seems to be the latter. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe not for you guys. You got to get heads down, push this thing out. But
well, yeah, we got to ship this, and then I'm hoping I could get a couple weeks of just good family time. Nice.
Speaking of the holidays, let's just switch it up right now.
Kick it off,
kick it off with some overlays. StreamYard asked me if I wanted to apply these, but now I'm saying yes. So I don't know if we've really talked about the token in terms of you mentioned kind of the token might be used as a way to pay fees. I don't know if you've thought about, like we're seeing ownership coins become a really big narrative and equity anchors and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. Have you guys thought further about just, what the token may represent post migration?
Yeah, definitely fees. Trying to add it as, trying to get as many token syncs in as we can as we develop. So as we release new features, if we can use the token to give discounts or for payment or more utility in the ecosystem, we will. In terms of equity, we haven't thought about that yet. Definitely want to see. Yeah, we'll have to think about that more deeply, and also we'll have to see how the space develops. I don't want us to do anything risky before it's clear how things work. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, actually, prior to this conversation, I said, I don't think tokens. I'm starting to get into the perspective where tokens that aren't layer 1s and layer 2s, like it's very hard to find like built-in intrinsic utility because they're not just generally doing as many transactions as like layer ones or layer twos to where it makes sense to have like a gas token or a token utility that kind of represents something similar to that. I guess
Right.
when I think of payment facilitators, though, that's one of the few edge cases that does fit into a box where there's so many transactions going through. Having your own token, be used as some sort of like prerequisite for gas or for something of that matter does actually make sense. So maybe I rescind my comment that I made earlier on that, because I could see something for like payment facilitators being used in the same like context as layer ones and layer twos. But I don't know, maybe still thinking through that thought process.
Yeah, yeah. I think if we it's all about volume. So if we can, I mean, man, let me run my Dune charts again. It's been a while, but like they're about 7 days old. But 7 days ago, the total number of transactions was 12.8 million through the Pay AI facilitator.
Wow.
So if that trend continues and if we can keep getting volume that way, I think it adds up, right? It might not all happen at once, but just consistent usage would be pretty good. Like
Can,
would be a good token sync for sure.
can you screen share some of your analytics?
Yeah,
Would love to get an update on how this is growing.
yeah. Let me do that. Or I can send you here. Let me send you the link. It's easy to
Sure.
open. The only problem is I last synced it 7 days ago,
That's
so
okay.
it's kind of queued up now. But yeah, it's still a good representation.
When you say sync, do you just have to like input stuff manually, or
No, you just have to press the run button. So like to run the
Mm.
um run the queries basically, and then Dune will go and do a bunch of database or blockchain fetches and then update the charts.
Okay, I haven't even really read what these are accounting for, but totally candlesticking here. In terms of
Yeah,
transactions.
yeah, yeah. And
Wow.
you see that so Solana had a bit of a Solana season in terms of volume. Now, mind you, this is only Pay AI, so like if you add the other facilitators on here, it might look different. This is just the Pay AI facilitator, so I don't know if we can get a full like ecosystem view through this, but we can definitely get a good view on Pay AI's usage.
Give me some numbers here that I can write down for the show notes.
Yeah, we've got so total pay number of payments 12.8 million. Total value settled 6 point, is that 5 or 6.6 million? 6.5 million, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, yeah. I mean, for better or worse, some of that is some merchants just faking their stats. But
Hey, that's part of the game still too, right?
yeah, yeah. It's still a precursor, I think, of what's to come.
What's the growth on this? I mean, can you give us like some punchy headline growth metric here?
I mean, we can take the months.
Like
I think maybe the
that
months.
literally looks like a hockey stick. I mean,
Yeah, right.
End of October, early November. That's when all the craziness started. I mean, you can see November was a huge month, and then December is also another huge month. Maybe
we like big surprising numbers here. So
Wow.
give me an October number and give me the latest one you have, and I'll give you a percent change.
December went vertical.
yeah. So can Dinero, can you like hover over October, November? Like
You went TVL, total value settled, or
yeah, let's go with total value settled first. So October 1st was, or yeah,
we call it
October
6th.
October 6th was $772, and then November 6th was
November 6th here.
yeah, yeah. Let's go to November. One more. Yeah, November 3rd was 2.8 million. And then December 3rd was, or December
December
8th,
8th.
6.5 mil.
Jeez. From 772 to 6.5 mil. That's insane.
That's X402, right? That's representative of the run and mind share that it just got throughout that time. And then you could do the same thing for number of transactions, but maybe the dollars settled is more interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Wow. So like truly picking up a lot of traction, watch trading or not, maybe even assuming some of that is just like pretty crazy to go from $772, a pretty nominal value there to, millions and millions of dollars is just
840,000% increase. Can I put out like a tweet on that? I'm gonna put a tweet out on that.
That's so bullish.
that's
All
so
right.
bullish.
All right, that is so bullish, bro. I love it. Even if it is whatever, I think you got to get it in. Will you guys retweet this? You guys will retweet this.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Even if it is wash trading, still, I guess it goes to show that someone at least now cares enough to wash trade, whereas before they didn't, right?
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
yeah. And even like, I mean, I don't know how much of it is wash trading, but like let's I know for a fact, for example, the Hollow World case by itself, just one merchant did 150K in volume, and so like compare that to $700, and that's quite a big percentage change as well.
Yeah, no, that's super incredible. I just think, I mean, certainly as the mindshare opens up for X402 and people just start learning about it, you're going to see people experimenting with it, which naturally is going to lead to situations like that, where you get
Right.
these pretty cool test cases.
Right.
Okay, I feel like we covered a lot. Is there anything else on that list you guys been working out that you want to highlight here? What we
Uh,
got to?
so X402 V2 came out last end of last week, and we'll be adding support this week for any developers or merchants that are curious. So V2 support is coming out soon. Quarter 1 next year, we're focused on improving our developer experience and comms so that it's like consistent and easier even for devs to get set up. We want to focus on payment splitting, which is one of the most common feature requests. We've already partnered with a project called Cascade for payment splitting, but we just want to kind of get Pay AI branded payment splitting and start adding that to our website and docs. As I mentioned, we'll be turning on fees for the facilitator. There'll be discounts for using Pay AI, and then we're going to be supporting other payment schemes like one is called Up2, which is very useful for AI agents, and other cases where you don't know how much the request is going to cost ahead of time. So, like for example, when ChatGPT goes to think, sometimes it uses, I don't know, for example, 1,000 tokens, and sometimes it could use 5,000 tokens. And if you're charging per token, you kind of don't know what the price is ahead of time. So this up to payment scheme will allow for you to like support that, not knowing how much it'll cost ahead of time. And for AI have been requested a lot actually by different merchants. Um, we'll be working on onboard like on ramping. We'll try to get an on ramping partner to kind of provide a full end-to-end experience. If an AI agent developer is just starting for the first time and they don't even have stable coins, we want to kind of get them set up that way. That's already a lot for Q1. We also want to start having serverless embedded wallets. Seems to be a growing
GMCG. Josh, what's up?
Not
Jill,
much.
what's up?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Whoa, you
You're-
live from a wind tunnel. What's going on, brother?
Your mic, you might want to just turn down your mic on the first little dot there on your mic.
Nonetheless, good morning. How are we feeling?
Good.
Happy
good.
Wednesday.
Greetings, King's Mentality. Good to have you on stream. Bloodbath today. Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
it
I
is.
know. Let's,
You know, I got on my charts today, and like it's at some point it had pumped like 2.5% in like 15 minutes, and I'm like, yes, we're back, baby. And then as fast as it pumped, even faster, it just wrecked and got dumped to oblivion. So yeah, are we used to it at this point?
yeah.
We're used to it.
Yeah, we're getting a little used to it. I mean, I think everyone's along for the ride at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think the play here is just at this point we just rock it out till better days come. I put out a tweet yesterday, and I've been kind of thinking about it. It's like, look, frankly, the markets suck. You're probably not making any money, and the truth is, you just got to be in the game until it turns around, and you're the fastest horse in the race, right? That's what it comes down to. So, nonetheless,
Yeah,
we continue to deliver
there's
value.
still going to be opportunities in this market, and we've seen some USDC denominated liquidity pools. The market caps of those projects seem to be fairly stable. It's all the SOL denominated liquidity pools that are going to see this kind of reflexive downward pressure on altcoins. So,
Well, and you know what? I have a take on Sol too, because this is an interesting point you bring up. Okay, and for those that don't really fully grasp what Josh just said, when you think about liquidity pools, typically there's a denominator in SOL, right? So if SOL goes up, that's also beneficial for the price of the project. If SOL goes down, it is to its detriment. And then USDC is basically that stable coin in the middle where you're fully valuing one side of the liquidity pool, and it's just the ticker. Interestingly enough, we look at SOL, and today, actually, the Solana market cap is the exact same as it was when Solana was $250 a coin. The only difference is we're $100 cheaper today than we were in November 2021, right? When you guys see this and you think, wow, Solana is inflationary to the point where we're in a bad market with a lot of overhanging supply, right? Which means, we have lots of selling. And today at $100 cheaper, we still have the exact same, actually bigger market cap as we did in 2021, despite having a price being significantly lower. Do you guys how do you think about this when you see these numbers?
So first off, GM everyone. I didn't turn my mic on. That's why. But yo, what's good? Hope everyone's doing well. Um, yeah, I mean, when you think about Solana, that it's affected my overall target, right? Like I've had these like insanely bullish targets for the cycle. So, Bitcoin, 200K, ETH, 15K, still holding on to those targets for 2026. But Solana is an interesting case because of that dynamic. I mean, is it inflationary? Yes, to some extent. Um, but I just don't know how to calculate upside when there's supply hitting the market. With Bitcoin and ETH, it's really easy. ETH is deflationary for the most part. And Bitcoin has a stable supply. So with Solana, it's gonna be there, despite there being perhaps more capital flooding to or buying up Solana, like the DATs and all of that, it still hasn't really been able to, make a new all-time high. And, it's coming up on a year now, right?
Yeah,
Since the
the
last one
reality
earlier this
here
year.
is the reality here is you have to be staking. That's the
But
simple
here's the
truth.
other thing.
You
You
have to
have
have your
entities like,
soul. You have to have your soul staked. You have to be getting the 6 or 7% yield denominated in soul. That's how you keep up. We've seen deflationary. Look at ETH. ETH's been deflationary, and it's been pretty much sideways for like 4 years.
but
Well,
that's
I
because there's
think
no demand. There's not much demand. But yeah, go ahead,
that's
Rob.
it.
Yeah.
No, chill. You hit the nail on the head. I think Vibu said it pretty eloquently when he was on our show. It's not an issue of inflation, right? It's not an inflationary issue. It's a demand issue.
Yeah.
Even if we have no inflation, we have a lack of demand right now. And so the supply, even taking out the inflation from the equation, is enough to outweigh the demand, right? So the inflation, it's a non-issue, I think, right? When we get into a bull market,
Yeah.
of course, we look at these numbers, it's very staggering. Like, it is an issue in a bear market, right? But in a bull market, inflation is sort of a non-issue because the demand greatly outweighs it. In a bear market now, we see these numbers and it's kind of like, wow, well, we have a ton of supply, we have no demand, virtually no demand, as well as constant inflation, and I think just adds insult to injury. But I don't know. Maybe this is, what do you guys think? Is it a non-issue? Is it something we should be worried
It's
about?
I think it's a non-issue, the inflation side of it. I mean, in a bull market, no one's really asking any questions as long as price continues to climb. But at the end of the day, I think what we have to pay attention to is entities that are selling um, Solana. So you had the DATs, right? That bought up and provided the exit liquidity for that pump that we saw to all-time high. But then on any other pump, you have people like, unfortunately, like Pump Fund, who are like market selling tons and tons of Solana. And so I think that's also going to be like an added pressure that honestly I didn't see before. I didn't really like, have that in mind when I was calculating the all-time high. So along with the supply, it just makes calculating upside confusing. And so I just haven't really. I used to think, $1,000 for Solana, but with this supply hitting the market, it affecting the market cap plus selling from larger entities, then it just makes it a little bit harder to map out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's good inflation, bad inflation. Bad inflation is inflation from, grants and giving tokens away to projects that end up selling it for operational expenses. Okay inflation is probably more protocol level inflation that is offset by staking. So that's all I'd say.
Yeah. On that Pump Fund narrative, Chill, you had mentioned Pump Fund. Interestingly enough, I saw this tweet, so I felt like we should highlight it. Also, like,
Yes.
my thesis on Pump Fund has also been shifting a little bit. I think we've
Same.
seen they continue to do $1 million a day in revenue, but that's purely coming from the tail end of the many, many thousands of projects they launched that are still widely successful today. And I think we're seeing less come out of Pump Fund today, and a lot of what's holding them up is the tail end. And at some point, the tail end's gonna subdue. right? They like at some point, most of these are going to die. They're going to stop generating fees. And so for that reason, although they are still doing an incredible amount of revenue, I don't think I'm very bullish on that number ticking up unless the market just has a market-wide recovery, right? So for that reason, I've kind of actually shifted my thesis on Pump Fund. One that was like, wow, they're doing 1 million in buybacks a day. How can you fade this? To, well, those buybacks are actually coming from revenue generated from their past life, if you will, and not so much from the future and what they're doing now. So eventually that tail end dies out. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. So here's my thesis has shifted on Pump Fund, but I think I'm still overall bullish. Like just putting the chart aside for a second and just looking at Pump Fund itself, it's basically become like the de facto launch pad for Solana. And I think what you're seeing now is what you'll basically see in a bear market, right? The revenue generated will rely on older tokens that are much higher in market cap with more established communities. But when things pick up again, where's the first place most people will launch something? It'll be Pump Fund, right? And I feel like it's no different than price going up or down. When price is going up, no one's asking questions, everyone's a buyer. But when price is going down, not many tokens are launching, not many people are trading, not many volume is being generated on chain. And so you see that kind of reflected everywhere. So yeah, in my opinion, I'm still bullish on Pump Fund. I think it's kind of just this, because I see so many things launching on Pump Fund, outside of not just memes, but you have these utilities projects, and whether they're bullish or not, right? Like long term, people still buy them. It's crazy that something like DFTV on SOAR is like sub like 500K market cap, when if it was launched on on something like Pump Fund, where like they buy anything over there, it would be a little bit different. So yeah, I just think as long as Pump Fund continues to hold this like mind share as a launch pad, and this acts as this like de facto launch pad for anything, I think it will like generate volume again, a ton of it, when things start picking up.
This is very kind of incriminating, actually. This RICO case. I
Yes.
read through it, and it really pulls in Jito Labs in how they prioritize transactions and front ran basically and bundled. From what I understand, this is illegal in normal financial markets, and I don't think the law is going to be applied any different here. So there will probably be a settlement, but this is going to take maybe some time to flow through the courts and actually get nullified. I saw some takes that, oh, well, the Trump admin will kind of let this one slide. I don't know. I don't see that being the case. I think they'll try and get a pound of flesh out of this and stop this activity. So none of this was good. Everyone experienced who traded anything pump token wise knows exactly this. You were fighting against charts, fighting against bundlers, and
I think that's also the issue. Like
Wait.
Pump is just a shady business, right? They got a RICO case slapped on them, right? So like, and that's not like, you don't get RICOs unless you're doing something like, it takes a lot of time to build up a good RICO case, and you're not just going to get slapped on you.
Look, I'd love to be bullish Pump, but I can't be with this yet.
Wait a second. Excuse me for being like an absolute retard here, but I didn't see the RICO part.
Yeah, bro. So I just
second.
saw this the other day. I bookmarked it because I wanted to really get into it on stream. But like outside of Pump just having a lot of revenue, like we know they're just a shady business. They've done shady things. It's pretty much like an industry secret. Is it even a secret at this point that they like operate on a pretty shady
It's an open
level?
secret.
Yeah, right. So it's no surprise they got this RICO case slapped on them, and it's just getting dug up. This is a great tweet by Clive. But yeah, I mean, you guys.
Yeah,
can
well,
go
I
read through it
rescind
yourselves.
everything that I just said. I mean, they can be generating, and I don't care how much in revenue, but I mean, look at like how the court case affected XRP for years and years and years as they battle courts. I mean, who knows how this is going to play out with Pump, but it's not going to attract anyone. If Pump is in legal trouble, like that's not confident in the business. And yeah, that's a rough one. I expect that to continue to break down.
Also
Holy
super
crap! I
interesting,
didn't see that.
Elon in the filings is 22 years old, which is
What?
pretty crazy to think. Yeah, he's a higher up Bowden Corporation, which is a parent company of Pump. I will attach sources below.
And they have 5,000 internal communications that they've subpoenaed here. So this is like, pretty probably likely incriminating stuff that's been said. And this seems like a layup for the SEC or whoever, DOJ, whoever's pursuing it. So be mindful of that. I'm going to actually just toggle over to an article here. The updated claims, and this is what's in the highlighted, the updated claims maintain that Solana Labs validator framework and Jito Labs proprietary execution tools allegedly enabled insiders to buy new tokens ahead of the general public on Pump Fund, a platform charging 1% of fees. According to the plaintiffs, these tools allowed insider transaction to be processed first, enabling them to acquire tokens at the lowest possible prices before automated bonding occurs, blah, 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 blah. And basically then selling those in a
bundle.
rigged launch environment for
Wow.
near guaranteed upside for insiders, while retail participants absorbed most of the downside. Look, this is a layup for the DOJ. They will win something here. Likely it's not the end of Pump, but most likely this will get tied up for at least 12 to 18 months while they figure out, what the ramifications are here. So,
And I think too that will discourage a lot of this like bundle, extraction activity that like as long as they make an example out of Pump Fund, which I assume that's what they're gonna do. Like while the regulation is bullish, the administration is bullish. I think they also want to protect investors and they want to start,
of course,
making
look,
things.
this is good long-term, guys, for on-chain.
100%.
Like if we're here in a
100%.
year and they figure this out and that's a legal activity, I'm super excited for the future because it means more fairness in the market. So want to move on from that. Also think like ownership tokens, the other launch pads may see increased
That's
attention
bullish.
if they
Yeah.
can have a position and defense around this kind of stuff.
So, well, on that note too, why I shift over to the next tweet is kind of a bull case on Meteora, because we see the long tailwind that Pump Fund created, and now even months after, maybe even a year after peak, mania on chain, they're still generating $1 million a day. So like, there's so much value in having this tailwind, but Pump Fund's one launch pad. What's beautiful about Meteora here is they are, basically setting up the rails for many, many launch pads to launch on them. So the same kind of tail end Pump Fund got from generating revenue, Meteor is kind of positioning for now. And so when you see everything launch on Sora, everything launch on Street, everything launch on MetaDAO, everything launch on, Believe, Bags, right? Some of these C tier, F tier launch pads, and then some of the S tier, whatever. It's most likely coming through Meteor. And it seems Meteor has done a really good job of capturing the bulk of what's to come. And so I think what's interesting about this is Meteor kind of wins if any of their launch pads win. And then if more of their launch pads win, they also generate this real tail end. And so they're kind of in the phase where they're building up that tail end that Pump Fund currently has. And I think we're kind of seeing a shift. So that's like broader thesis on Met. And then, this tweet goes out. We've seen they've already accumulated roughly 3.5% of their own supply. Now that they're sitting at like 125 million market cap. And so this was a good tweet by Pix. He goes, okay, help me out here. From that clip, Meteor did 10.6 million in buybacks during October through November, which was 62% of revenue. So full revenue, those 2 months was like 17.1 million. Based on the same clip margin is 71%. So earnings are 12.14 million for 2 months. Annualized, that's roughly 75 million. The market cap is 130 million. So the real P is literally 130 million divided by 72.8 million. So about 1.8. A price to earnings of 1.8. Even if you use just buyback numbers, it's still a PE of 2. For one of the biggest Solana DeFi protocols, crypto is actually comedy sometimes. What am I missing here? For what it's worth, guys, in typical private or in typical equities markets, PEs trade generally much, much higher than 2, especially for growth markets like this. If you have a more brick and mortar company, it can be lower. But price to earnings on something like this at 1.8 or even call it 2 is pretty low for what you get. So we're almost seeing a skew in crypto that seems to be crypto specific, just because crypto's kind of got this bad rep in the bad on-chain environment right now. Any thoughts on Meteora, guys?
Yes, I have a few. Because we actually were on stream when you guys were in Met Dobby. And good to have you back, Dom, by the way. Didn't say that when I
Thank you.
first
Thank
came
you.
in, but meant to. But yeah, like when you guys were in Met Dobby, I posted out a tweet that was talking about my kind of thesis around Met, and basically there was some feedback from someone in the comments that were saying, oh well, Met is basically a meme coin because it doesn't have any, like, there's no buybacks, there's no utility, there's no this, there's no that. And we were still at that point waiting for for news at Met Dobby. And my kind of feedback was literally all of ICM and ownership tokens are built on top of Meteora. Like, there's no way that they're the ones kind of pushing forward this entire whether you want to call it, ICM ownership, equity anchored, what have you. No way they're the ones pushing that forward, and that, like, their token is going to be, their token is going to lack utility, lack intrinsic value. I'm pretty sure, and I'm just going off on a limb saying this too, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be at some point, some way that they'll be able to, you know, tie that value directly into the token. Now, people have done it via buybacks, they've done it via staking, some sort of utility. We see ownership coins, Soars debt structure, DRP. We see, so, like, who knows, like, what they do, but, like, oh wow, look at that tweet.
On that
Tokens
note,
are
right?
really a scam. Soju says, I'm proud of all of our efforts to come to fix tokens across MetaDAO, launch on SOAR, and many more. And soon Met will follow. So again, just tying into exactly what I'm saying, these guys, they are bullish on this whole narrative around making tokens actually truly valuable, and protecting token holders, right? So I can only imagine what they have cooking, and you can kind of get a sense of that from this tweet here from Soju.
Yeah, I think it's simple. You got to read between the lines. As a trader, you got to find edge, and the truth is, edge is um, going the distance that people aren't willing to do. And if you're studying Meteora, you're studying Soju, like we do every day on the show. We're studying the projects that are launching via Meteora and understanding the inner workings. It's pretty clear there is some sort of um implied utility that's coming to Met. And I think he basically says it here, right? And again, I don't want to speak for him, but he goes, I'm proud of all our efforts to fix tokens across MetaDAO and Launch on Store and many more. And soon Met will follow. You don't say that with nothing in store. So I think it's pretty obvious. So read between the lines, fellas. We just got a Avi Patel update here on CLED, which we know there's been drama with. Believe markets selling a bunch of CLED. Ben just doing shady things.
Before we get to that latest update, do you have a take on that his tweet from the other day? Just to
Yeah, we
kind
covered
of
this
put
on
everything in.
stream. Yeah, we covered this on stream. Take high level, Ben's a piece of shit, right? Ben's a piece of
Gotcha.
shit. I think it's
Did
obvious.
you see Evelyn Hawes' video where he blurred himself out?
Yeah, I did see that. He's hiding, bro. He's running and hiding. He's dodging.
I heard thread guy basically was like, um he wasn't satisfied with Cled's move, with Avi's move there. So I
Yeah,
wanted
I
to hear
mean,
which.
look, he makes a good point too. It's like Kled tweeting all this stuff just kind of shows a lack of um, foresight on Kled's side, right? How is Kled gonna uh for months
It's
basically
a
be
bad
suppressed?
take on from Thread Guy. That's a bad take.
You think so?
I would say that.
I think
I would
so.
say so.
Yeah,
I would
Maybe.
say
it's
so.
look, this guy, Avi Patel, go back and watch the Stig moment. He said, we are going to work with you guys to help projects. That's exactly opposite of what they've done. I read
Yeah.
this as like a young entrepreneur defending his company and defending his business and letting
Yeah.
everyone know, letting the market know, hey, this is what I've been going through, guys. Just so you know, someone's selling, this is who they are. It's BS.
No, and I do think that's a great point, Josh. Because
Bad take from Thread Guy.
you got to think what Avi's going through right now. He's been grinding. He's made this business from nothing into something, from a vision into reality. And he goes with his biggest release in company history, right? He plans this rollout and everything, and even in his previous tweet mentioned that he gave Ben and the team a kind of an Imran kind of a heads up, just saying, hey guys, like our pasts aren't great. I just want to show this as a sign of goodwill. And then Ben uses this event to dunk on Avi and market sell into his chart, right? And so like, yeah, clearly it is. It's like you said, Josh, as if you take this position of Avi Patel here, he's worked so hard for this, just to have it kind of shit on by a bad actor like Ben Pasternak, who said that they are willing to work with Kled, and done all this stuff, and then kind of stabs him in the back here. No surprise, yes. Also, just you gotta imagine it sucks to be in Avi Patel's shoes here, but luckily that's kind of behind us now. So yeah, you want to cover?
Yeah,
Just put out this tweet.
Yeah, go ahead and cover it. Yeah.
Kled, and by the way, like, so impressive with what Avi's been doing. He really has been able to turn Kled into something super cool. So on that note here, he goes, Kled now owns exclusive rights for one of the largest aerial drone footage catalogs in the United States. Dude, it's like, it's really crazy how they're getting these catalogs, right? And IP rights to train exclusive AI off of. Actually, I just saw Warner Bros, I think, or someone licensed specific cartoons or some sort of show to OpenAI to train data off of. I think it was, I forget exactly which one it is, but it was pretty cool.
Who did that first? Avi
mean?
Patel.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Avi actually having all this IP and being the sole proprietor to sell it to these data companies is a pretty big deal. You got to understand, in the contract that Avi's signing,
here was the play. Disney made $1 billion investment in OpenAI and licensed the Disney IP to OpenAI so that people could create through Sora, people could create their own version of Disney product using Disney IP license, and then even further allowing them to stream it on Disney Plus to their TV. So think about it. You're a young creator. You create a version of an alternate ending to, I don't know, what's a Disney classic?
Frozen.
Lilo and Stitch, Frozen.
Yeah, for any one of these, right? And now you can watch it with your family. Dude, that is a huge unlock. I think Disney will make a ton of money doing that.
Josh, you have kids, bro. How come you came to us asking about Disney movies? That should be off the top of your head, dude.
Honestly, I only let them watch OG stuff from my era. I don't let them watch modern day Disney.
Modern day Disney, yeah.
Bro, I don't want modern day Disney in my household. I'm fervently against that.
Fair enough. Yeah, dude, I respect that parenting move here.
Yeah, my kids need to see stuff from the millennial generation.
Dude, and I saw a clip the other day of like some football players talking to this kid, and he's like, "What kind of cartoons do you watch?" And he goes, "YouTube, Mr. Beast." Kids don't watch cartoons these days, bro.
They don't. No. He said, "What do you mean cartoons?" He like literally the kid was genuinely. He's like, "What's cartoons? Like, what do you mean? I watch YouTube." He said,
"That's crazy." That just shows the direction we're headed. Like, I feel like a boomer after seeing that.
So I just want to let everyone know we have Patrick from CPT coming on. I don't see him in.
I saw you sent him a message.
Any minute. Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, would you guys like to?
Do we want to finish this Avi Patel tweet real quick?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So like, but I think, and by the way, I wish Avi and Kled would have kind of given more examples, because that was a great test case for all this IP that they've worked so hard to gather, right? OpenAI and Disney just partnered for $1 billion deal. And Avi's got a lot of IP that's very valuable, right? So I think that goes a long way. They probably should have pushed that a bit more as a test case and proof of concept. Nonetheless, we'll read through this. Kled now owns exclusive rights for one of the largest aerial drone footage catalogs in the United States, a multi-million-dollar catalog consisting of 750 million unique aerial frames, 5,000 plus hours of real-world flight, 100 plus distinct aerial scenes and environments, nationwide spatial coverage, urban, suburban, rural, coastal, high altitude, low altitude perspectives, continuous motion sequence built for temporal learning. Goodness gracious. I'm reading these words and not comprehending here. If any AI models want to learn from this content, they have to go through us. We're beyond excited to enter this new territory of data. We've already begun conversations with hundreds of leading game studios, simulation teams, and world-building engines developers pushing the next generation of AI-generated environments. And we will play this video. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Hey everyone, my name is Avi. I'm the founder of Kled, and I'm very excited to be here with Tori, the founder of Rigo. He has around 5,000 hours of just really high quality exclusive content from drones, as you can see in the back over here. And he's here really just about to talk about it. Yeah. Yeah, so we're really excited to partner with you guys to help provide some of this content. This is stuff that we've been recording from, for the last probably 10, 12 years. A lot of this stuff is happening in the Chesapeake Bay area. There's a lot of footage that is, waterfowl, waterfront type footage. But we've done so many things as a full-fledged studio. We've been recording for a long time, agriculture, farming, construction, sports, all kinds of stuff like that. Just regular landscape stuff all around. So the type of footage that's there is, it's not haphazard. As a professional production studio, we've been out there getting this footage, and we're pretty excited to be able to take this content and embrace AI and help it really grow.
Yeah.
And help other companies learn from the footage that we've taken.
Yeah, I mean, I've taken a personal look at the content. It's one of the I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but it's one of the highest quality drone content I've seen in a while. And I've filmed drone content myself, so I don't know if you can tell by the devices, but these are amazing. Thermal drones, very, very expensive equipment in front of me that I don't want to touch and break. But yeah, we're really excited about this. It should be really good for aerial robotics, pretty much anything artificial intelligence related, especially. So yeah, we're really excited for before here. Yeah.
We are too. And as content providers, we're always, trying to take ideas from you, the stuff that you need, the type of packages you've got to fulfill. And, we've got the capabilities, and as we continue to grow and continue to gather more content, we're just excited to be able to kind of provide you guys with that so that these AI computers can learn more about stuff.
Yeah, of course.
All right, you guys get the gist. I think with that being said, we have Patrick in the waiting room here, but ultimately, Kled is at 20 mil, and makes an interesting case here because they did just raise it 100 mil, and so Avi's been very open about his equity anchored strategy here, so maybe something there. That being said, Patrick, good to see you, man. We've seen a lot of you recently. How are you doing?
Yeah, of course.
All right, you guys get the gist. I think
I think the feed is delayed
ultimately,
slightly.
Kled is at 20 mil, and makes it interesting. Yeah, maybe.
All right, we're gonna try and get. I'm just gonna make a note. Sorry to Patrick.
Looks like we got a lagging situation. This has been happening a little bit. We get guests on, and there's like a small delay between when we talk and when they hear it, and it's kind of made for some difficult conversations.
Yeah. In the meantime, Maru, GICM, GMCG, GCPT, Andrew, GICM, a King's Mentality, a regular from the good old YouTube. Goated. Appreciate you guys joining us.
Probably the only live viewer we have on YouTube. I just never go and check.
I think we got a few. We got a few now. I gotta say, there's been a few that's been popping.
All right,
up.
Patrick, we here. I'm gonna try and hopefully we can get this working.
Andrew, GICM,
Patrick, we can hear feedback.
You might have, I think,
from the good old YouTube.
You might have our stream unmuted on your end, and we're hearing it.
We can hear.
Man,
Yeah,
Patrick
maybe,
came in the suit, dude, looking professional. Live from Geneva, it seems.
Live from Geneva. Oh wow. Oh yeah, he was. We did catch him right before his flight yesterday.
Can
But I
we
think,
maybe have him leave and come back, get him the link again or something?
Yeah, just have him leave and come back, and also hit some perhaps headphones if he wants to, because I think what it is
Yeah.
the audio's coming through his speaker.
Hey guys, great live show. Moriko, Great Alpha, KK, GICM, good to see you. YouTube for life and CPT, MCG for life. Absolutely,
Let's
Pepe.
go.
I'm glad you're a regular
go.
holding down MCG YouTube, Pepe. Appreciate you. Share with your family and friends, guys. Anyone who's getting into crypto or looking to get into crypto, make sure they're watching MCG on YouTube.
Your grandma should be learning about private equity on chain right now.
Yeah, your grandma should be learning about equity anchors, not on X, but on YouTube, because she can watch it on her TV.
Don't send them to the pump fund trenches. Send them to the ICM trenches, bro.
Honestly,
send them to the ownership trenches. We'll take care of them.
Daddy Duster. There's a little bit of a mix up with the MCG account this morning.
Josh, you can't be doing that kind of stuff, bro. I have a reputation to uphold.
I saw that, bro. I was like, oof, that's a big pause moment.
Oh my gosh, why did you say that, Josh?
It was a pause moment, but then I looked at it, I was like, YOLO, whatever. The volumes are down. Like, let's just Send it.
For context here,
You
I'll
know,
give
you know
guys-
who else? Yeah. Pull up the tweet because you know who else says that word, whose name also begins with a D.
No.
Dude.
Diddy.
Dom? Oh,
Oh
yo.
my gosh.
Yo, low key, I watched that
Diddy does say that.
documentary on the flight. I watched all
Oh,
4
dude.
episodes.
And Netflix and Fiddy are getting sued hard for it too.
Yeah.
As probably expected going into
Yeah, as to be, bro, of course. But
Yeah.
Diddy shady is. Diddy
Oh,
shady.
I'm glad you've figured that out, Josh.
Got that from 4 hours of
Yeah, but
watching.
shout out Mr. Duster here. He he encourages people to tune into the podcast, and Josh through the MCG account goes, Daddy, Daddy, come on. If you have intros here to the Wealth Group team, would love to collaborate with the team if there's any interest in ownership tokens. I'm like, bro, you can't just be calling people daddy on the MCG account, brother.
I was thinking the
Yo.
same thing. I'm like, whose Twitter fingers is going crazy right now?
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yo, that was funny. We need a little humor, guys. You know, I looked at it. I was like,
That's why you
whatever.
did it, right?
We need some humor. Yeah.
All about the humor. I saw I just had it pulled up, man. Oh, dude, I just
Amazing Alpha.
think-
Oh, Pepe is in MCG Alpha. Love it. Yeah.
I see Kitty in the comments. Maybe while we wait for Patrick, who seems to be joined up again. We'll go through this because I think this is pretty cool, and Kitty also seems to think it's pretty cool. But Avo dropped a ETF offering, and I think this is pretty cool, right? We see investors all the time not sure what to invest in, especially in a difficult market. And I think generally you'd be better probably parking your money into a basket or ETFs rather than maybe making individual picks, especially when you're not on so much. But pretty cool update from Avo. They just came out with their own on-chain ETFs, and you're able to create your own on-chain ETFs. MCG could create one, Kitty could create one, but right now they got this index with CPT, Avo, Virus, Orgo, PMX, and so this seems to be like a Kitty ETF here. Some of his top picks there, but I think it's pretty cool.
All right, we're gonna try again here. We have Patrick, and we have 2 Patricks here. One's audio, one's video. So we're testing the studio out here. Patrick, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Okay, good.
Okay.
Is there a bit of a lag between the video and the audio?
No, it's
it
actually
looks pretty good.
It's perfect.
There
yeah.
was, but it's solved now.
Okay, great. So
We're good
nice to
now.
see everyone. Who's on? It's Dom and Chill.
Dom, Chill, and Josh. It's the whole
Perfect.
squad, dude.
It's the,
Get
it's
everyone.
the full crew, huh?
That's right. Well, you needed the full crew for this update. I think you've been hinting at a little bit, right?
Yes. Good to see everyone.
Good to see you. We've been talking to you quite a bit, Patrick, but maybe take us with you to
Yeah,
Geneva
I,
here.
I see you guys more often than my mother.
Oh, you know what? I think I see you more often than my mother too, which is, I don't know, maybe a good thing. Maybe not. I don't know, not a good thing. Whatever. Either way, Patrick, what takes you to Geneva, dude? What's new?
Today we have a very special moment. I'm in Geneva now, and I want to tell everyone. I think last week we've been teasing a little bit. Monday we made a big announcement that we will be burning 93% of the total token supply. You guys have got it. We've had a very, very good reception. As you all know, I think we're one of the only things, people, tokens, and crypto that is going up. So
Yeah.
we are anomaly, and we will continue our bull and positive run.
Well, let's get into the updates because you have been hinting this for a while. I think everyone's on the edge of their seat. The 93%.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt. The update right now is on the show world exclusive is we're going to burn as we speak now, and the 93% will be done as we speak, and it will be reflected within 10 to 15 minutes on SoulScan and all the other data points.
Okay, so let's talk about what that does for you. You guys probably had some internal conversations. I think it was pretty clear you guys never intended to mint more tokens, or at least more supply, if you will. But I think that there was like a bit of a miscommunication between crypto Twitter and maybe investors. And so now you're kind of clearing that up a little bit, but maybe walk us through the thought process from the start here.
So basically, there's a disconnect between crypto and TradFi, where the number of tokens in circulating supply is not really actually reflected in this new ERP token standard. There's been a lot of voices from the community whereby the tokens being out of the system will be accurately reflected. So when you go on SolScan or DEX or other ones to take a look at this, what will end up happening is now it's accurately reflected, so people don't think that there'll be some kind of sale that will affect the price. That's why we listened and we've taken care of it. And as we speak, we're burning.
Nice. Nice. And now that you've burnt the supply, essentially this means you'll never be able to issue any more debt, or how does that work?
No, it just basically means that the 93% will be burnt. If ever we need to mint more coins or more tokens, then we can do that at a later stage with obviously with notice to the community.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, no, I think that's a huge update. I think it's gonna be big for people looking at the token now. They'll see that there's not a ton of overhanging supply. And then also I think the representation in Dex Screener and Moby Screener and maybe other screening platforms will show as well, instead of 32.9 million FDV, like a 3.2.
So you got to repeat that. It's crackling.
Okay, yeah, sorry. No, I think this will be a good burn here, because I think after this happens, it should represent as well in Dex Screener and Moby Screener and other screening platforms, where instead of showing a 32 million fully diluted value, it'll actually just show that 3.2 or maybe a little bit lower fully diluted value now that you've burned the tokens.
Yeah, just less confusion for traders, right?
So I'm getting a bit of a lag. Can you please repeat that?
Yeah, it seems that there's lag from your side. You seem to be hearing us a little later. No, but all I'm saying is this will be a good update. Obviously, it'll represent on Dex Screener and Moby Screener a bit better. When you look at the market, it's not going to say 32 million FDV. It's going to represent the actual value of market cap circulating now.
Yep, correct. So I just want to say officially it's been burnt now.
There we go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Congratulations.
So
we are on to.
Thank you, everyone. I want to, first of all, I want to personally thank the MCG team. It's great to meet everyone in person. You guys have been a big support. I want a big shout out to the SOAR team, all the other projects that have launched. We're very happy to be in this community. We want to be the first ones to bridge Web 2 to Web 3. I keep saying this. So very thankful, and obviously to all the supporters out there who's been supporting us from the get-go. I've actually been in touch with some of the top token holders, trying to have a conversation with them to talk about what's happening. So we're very humbled, privileged, and honored to be with you.
Nice. We're excited. Obviously, CPT is doing something different. I think when you think about private equity on chain and just the access to having these companies, you come from that background where, as an investor yourself, you get access to private equity. You've seen it all. Do you think that crypto and private equity coming on chain is a big moat? Why are you so excited about this SOAR model? And how do you foresee that kind of playing out in the future, maybe in a much longer term?
I've been seeing this space, this opportunity for over 10 years ago, but it's only been now. It's the right time for this to happen, and it will happen in the very near term future, and it will happen now with internet capital markets. So we're super bullish.
Nice. Okay, let's dive a bit into what you're doing out in Geneva. You've been flying around. We saw you in Abu Dhabi the other day. You're now in Geneva. What have you guys been cooking up over there?
Okay, so today, do you think this is the news that we've been looking forward to, or do you think there's more?
I think there's always more, Patrick. We saw. Dude, it's every day we look on clips from the MCG account. Even yesterday, I missed something that you said about the robotics coming, and your portfolio may be looking to be tokenized a bit more. And it seems like there's always more coming out of you, Patrick. So no, to answer your question, of course, there's always more.
So I'm in Geneva now. We've had a long few weeks. I've been traveling to America, been in 3 continents in like 24 hours or something, or 18 hours. Anyway, met Abby, Solana, Breakpoint. Now I'm in Geneva. So today is a monumentous day. We will unveil a breakthrough in aerospace technology. It's Impulsor's first real product. It's the Impulsor Fortitude engine. As you all know, we have already filed the patent. This revolutionary propulsion system enables aerial, ground, naval platforms to operate without interruption, eliminating the need for refueling, recharging, or mission pauses. The Fortitude engine isn't just an advancement. It's the foundation of a new era in energy distribution and utilization. It will redefine how we design and deploy systems globally. Welcome to the future. Why the name Fortitude? It was actually my grandfather's name, Qi Yao, in Chinese. What it represents is fortitude, but it's also a tribute to my co-founder, Roman and Tim, also to Julian and Helen and the rest of our team. Also to our, most importantly, is actually to our supporters, you. This journey wasn't easy. It wasn't short, but together we've really invented something extraordinary. We've achieved this in a very short space of time. And this is our victory, and this is our fortitude. This isn't just another engine. This is the world's first powered by optical power transfer, the Fortitude engine. This is unprecedented in its design. It's exceptionally compact, it's powerful, and it's efficient. It's engineered for superior thermal management. And now I want to welcome my co-founder and partner in crime, Roman Park.
Oh, let's go.
Roman,
go.
what's up, man?
Wow, look at this. Great. Yeah, okay. Awesome, guys. We can hear and see you clear.
Oh, actually, you know what? We are getting some technical difficulties from Roman's microphone. Do we have to add a Roman account as well?
Can you hear it?
I can hear
I
your
can hear.
microphone perfectly fine, Patrick. I think
we
Roman's
can
only
hear
picking up
Patrick.
through Patrick's.
Oh, no.
You can only hear Patrick.
Okay, I'll do it another way. Hold on.
That was such an
No,
awesome
I'll
intro. I
do it
was
another way.
like,
Okay.
Okay, give me the, where's the,
Give you guys a few
hold on,
seconds
guys, let me
here,
see.
and
Give me
I'll
that thing.
we can and
oh.
we can maybe highlight some of these things. But dude, we're making
Whoa,
this is
this
history
thing
right
is
here.
cool.
This
What
is
is
history
awesome.
right here.
Let me stop sharing this. Can we make this full screen here?
Yeah, I can hear.
Can you guys hear to Roman now?
Guys, hello?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear Roman? Okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yes.
All right. Well, first of all, guys, I'm super excited to be here. Like usual. It's funny whenever I'm here, I seem to be breaking the tech. But anyway, no, guys, look. We want to. You see everything here. You have the wide angle. You can see the device we have in front of you.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So this is our Fortitude engine. It seamlessly integrates into drones, into vehicles, and other platforms. We're super excited to share more information about this system, as well as the other systems that complete the overall groundbreaking solution. This system converts continuous laser power into thrust, allowing aerospace systems to maintain powered flight without the need for batteries. I mean, batteries is an optional extra. Additionally, it supports power scaling in a way that allows it to have far greater power output despite its size being very compact. Finally, it's able to align with the transmitter beam from almost any angle, allowing continuous supply of power despite any orientation of the craft. And Patrick, maybe we can.
Sure.
take some.
So today, guys, as I said, this is a monumentous moment. This is a testament as to what we do at Impulsor. This will pushing the boundaries of innovation and turning bold visions into reality. This marks a triumphant end to 2025, a year of relentless progress and breakthroughs. But 2026 will be even more amazing, filled with new horizons and endless possibilities. Impulsor, we will soar together.
Oh, wow. We got to clap that up. What a
Let's go.
presentation. Dude. Okay, so Roman just came at us with a bunch of technical jargon here. Ultimately, give us a conclusion. You guys have been working. This is kind of the first product you released. You've been working for months now, or maybe you can give us the timeline, but you've been working for a while now, and this is the first tangible thing that you guys have to offer from your arsenal, basically, right?
Yes, this is the first one that is done in-house properly. This is the one with the patents. Regularly moving from today onwards, from the next few days to next week to weeks after, the prototype will then have more videos, more demonstrations. We'll be trying to do more on X for the community to follow and then to see the technology in action. Maybe Roman, you can share a bit more about the drones, the different vehicles, and what the potential use cases are.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the most, say, direct application from where we are today is definitely powering drones. Specifically, we're working on a glider drone. Perhaps you guys have seen it on one of our posts. But further from that particular use case, because this system scales so well, and because we're able to align the receiver to the transmitter with such accuracy, we'll be able to power other systems, whether it's consumer goods, whether that's going to be ground vehicles, ships, helicopters. So really, this is only a beginning. And again, our patents are not just about this particular Fortitude engine, but actually, in the broader sense, we are really tackling the optical CPT technology.
Okay, let's get a look and let's talk a bit about this engine. So how does this work? This gets inserted into a drone and then it gets beamed energy through your CPT method here, and the drone's powered indefinitely. Or can you kind of explain the repercussions of this?
And it's battery, not combustion. Like, it's not like a jet engine. It's not. Is it using propellers as well?
Right. So this is actually why it's a world first, because we're not only tapping into optical power transfer, we're also tapping into the vast thermal energy that is being created by beaming laser to the receiver. So indeed, it is producing thrust in the, let's say, traditional jet sense. But additionally to that, we are powering the whole thing with the optical energy transfer. So it's a multi-energy system. So you actually get far greater efficiency that way.
You keep saying this is a world's first. Is there anyone else doing this, attempting to do this?
Well, no, it's a completely new way of imagining optical power transfer, and it's a completely new way of powering an aerial vehicle or a ground vehicle, as I say. It effectively taps into, again, conversion of electrical energy from optical energy to electrical, but also in the process of cooling the cells inside, it actually produces thrust due to the thermal energy that's being accumulated inside. So it's a completely new concept. It's a totally new engine.
This is wild. Like, we're witnessing something here for the first time ever, like live on stream. And I don't think a lot of people kind of grasp what you just presented us with. what comes next, right? You have this technology. We heard Patrick said maybe some demos are coming. Obviously, the goal is distribution, right? You've worked so long to get this going. You've got to refine it, I'm sure, after some time. But what comes next, guys?
I think what comes next is another trip for Patrick to perhaps Massimo, which again it's CPT and our journey is a story, and for those who have been really engaging with our marketing and with our posts, you can really see the story being woven in real time. Having said that, of course, we will iterate on this engine here. We already have several upgrades. This is actually the generation 2. We already tested Gen 1. Gen 3 will be on the way shortly. And of course, then it's the easier part, let's say, is integrating it into a working drone. So I think in the near future we'll be presenting some more very exciting technology.
So just to add further, guys, what we intend to do is to get our sales team to start working on the sales and distribution side. Roman and I will continue to work with the lawyers to ensure that the IP is protected, because that's the real asset of the group and the company. So that's exciting. And then 3 is our other departments will be working towards developing our other products. One of them we also talked about a little bit, called LifeFinder CPT. Over the course of the next few days to a week, we will also talk a bit more about what the functionality and capabilities of LifeFinder are. We don't want to release and reveal all the good news in one day, so we're going to plan it over a few days to a few weeks. So a lot of people don't like holidays, such as myself. So people who don't like holidays, stay tuned to X, and it'll be more exciting than some of your presents on your Christmas tree.
Yeah, we like presents under the Christmas tree. I have to ask, so DARPA and like Mitsubishi Heavy Industries and a lot of players are kind of saying that this might be a viable way to do power transfer. Are you guys working with any sort of either government or non-government agencies to kind of go from what looks like the prototype stage and to more of like a proof of concept? You mentioned Massimo as well, but maybe just talk about like how we take that leap to the next kind of commercialization phase.
So really, the strength of our team means that we can just go it alone for a long time. Like we are taking it a very long way just by ourselves, and we will continue to iterate. We'll continue to improve. Our approach is so unique, so different. That's why actually it will work. Because you see here, it's extraordinarily compact, and I think in the coming days, weeks, we will actually show how much power this little unit produces. It's really remarkable, and our approach is so innovative, so different, that we are going it alone for a longer extended period of time. And when it's right, and when we can deploy the entire solution, that's when we're going to be commercializing it. Again, right at the very beginning, we mentioned that mPulsar isn't about just CPT core tech, because the core tech is more or less catching up. But mPulsar is so much more than a core technology. It's about taking that core technology, that core science, and producing real products, producing real solutions which make sense. That's a disconnect that's been missing since the start of CPT, WPT in the 1950s. That's what's been missing. And on top of that, what's been missing is a person like Patrick who is able to take it further. Sang mode style, if I may.
Sang mode.
So
Okay,
you
go
mentioned
ahead, Joe.
Massimo
As a big
earlier. What's waiting for you guys in Massimo?
Sorry, you're breaking up. Can you please repeat that?
Yeah, sure. You guys mentioned Massimo earlier. What's the significance there? What's waiting for you
Yes.
guys there?
They're just one of our partners and one of the ones that's helping us to customize and design some of the very specialized parts for not just this engine, but also for some of the other tech that we're doing. So obviously, as you guys know, it's in New Hampshire. It's an American firm and one of the top actually cutting edge technology chip companies in the world, actually.
Multi-billion-dollar company from from what I understand. So that's huge. You guys are actually working with them. I guess any insight into how that, just for the audience who might not be familiar with who they are, what they do, what's the benefit for of working with a company of that on that level?
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, there's a bit of
Yes.
delay.
Maybe you can take it down. Maybe you can ask the question.
Yeah, I was just I would just talk a bit about Massimo. Massimo is a 30-year plus company. It's one of the leading companies in the space for this kind of customization of chips. They only have a handful of clients, mainly in the US. So they go for a very rigorous test of who they work with and who they work for, I guess. So the fact that we got picked to be a partner of theirs for the chip manufacturing, we're very humbled by it, especially when we're a relatively new startup. I'll let Roman talk more about the technical side.
Yeah, so Massimo will be producing some critical components that are going to go into not just this, but into other products as well. Perhaps we will disclose exactly what those components are at a later stage. Having said that, I think everyone will appreciate just how complex it is to pull off a piece of like a solution like this. And that's why you need strong partners to do that. How many suppliers does Apple need for the iPhone? So in the same way, by Patrick's connections, we're able to source our components from the very best suppliers, and that does make a big difference.
Okay, so you guys have a ton of products you're working on, this engine being your first. How do you guys get this into the hands of the right people? What's the next steps in terms of where do we see this implemented, and how do you scale this into engines of, I guess, ideally all drones in the future?
Sorry, the question is, how do we get this into the hands of customers? And what's the second question?
Yeah, I guess the step now is acceleration. You guys have the product. How do you accelerate it? Who do you get it into the right hands of, and what are the next steps?
Next steps is, we're going from government level, industrial level, and then it's consumer level. We're focusing on government and industrial use cases for the time being. So right now, we need to start making more hires from a sales and distribution side. So that's kind of one of the major bottlenecks of the company right now, because the R&D side, the product side, the marketing side, we're doing very well. Now we need to go and close contracts and start signing so that big revenues start coming.
We know when you have a good product, the sales typically tends to be pretty easy. How difficult do you think it is to sell this product, or it's going to be?
Can you hear the question?
I have no idea.
Tom, can you please repeat that?
Yeah. So typically, we see in sales that if you have a great product, selling the product's not very difficult. How difficult do you guys envision selling this product is going to be?
I don't think it's difficult at all in terms of the sale. What's going to take time is when you're working with governments and also industrial, bigger companies, typically the time that they take for due diligence and, finding out who you are, what the product is. So the length of time taken for that process takes time. The actual sale itself doesn't take much time.
Are these military contracts, government contracts? Josh had a question here. He goes, ask about DARPA, or where did the grants / sales come from?
You want to go ahead?
Yeah. Could you repeat that one more time? It's quite difficult to hear you.
Yeah, no worries. We can repeat it as many times as you guys need. So are these military contracts? And then Josh wanted to know about DARPA a little bit. Where do these grants and sales come from?
Okay, so first of all, we are not involved with DARPA in any capacity. I think that is actually a massive strength because they are focusing on funding companies specifically and only for military procurement. Therefore, if they do fund a company, then you're locked into that ecosystem, and you're effectively bound to only sell to them or whoever they approve. So that's why, first of all, we're more than strong enough to develop this ourselves, and we're not in any way involved with DARPA, and that's a real strength for us. Regarding potential customers, we of course are looking at multiple options, including everything from agriculture technology, so agri-tech, all the way up to emergency services, governmental departments. But I don't want anyone to sort of have the illusion that even agri-tech isn't big enough, because agri-tech alone is absolutely enormous. So the markets that we are approaching, they're huge, and they're very exciting, and actually that's why not being locked into a military only company is so valuable.
Got you. Thanks. Yeah, you guys have a ton of products you're working on. In terms of building these products, are you building the product and then finding the customer, or finding the customer and then building the product for their specific need?
I think it works both ways, Dom. I think we, in this particular case, we built the engine before we find clients, but actually there's some cases where we see what the client's needs are, and then we build the product or the solution to help these clients. So it depends. It works both ways.
Dom, I have a question here. There's a question in chat about Lockheed Martin and maybe the existing entrenched industrial military complex, or you could extend that to other countries. Would someone like I guess a manufacturer like that, would they license something like this?
I mean, it's a difficult. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. It's all about the material that's in a purchase order, material in the contract, and the agreement, and that's actually a strength of why our team is inherently very, very strong, because we're made of entrepreneurial people. I don't know of any company which has basically all the positions filled with entrepreneurs like Patrick. So that's another strength, and we have to trust in the decision making of a man who has demonstrated that at the highest level all the time.
There's a question around approximate costs for implementation of this, propulsion system, and then also a question around what does the ground unit look like in terms of what's powering the engine?
That's a great question. So I'm gonna go with the ground unit. I'm gonna answer ground unit first. We're going to show the ground unit pretty soon. And that ground unit really is, in a way, you can think of it as essentially like a laser turret. And that would then be mounted onto a transmitter station. I think some time ago we shared a drone hangar concept. So something like that would have not only magres to charge the drones internally, but it would also have a transmitter station, a laser transmitter station mounted with it as well. So it's like a dual CPT system. And the way to imagine it, really, we'll show it fairly soon. But the way to really like imagine it is effectively a laser turret, and it would have full degree of movement, so it can beam to any angle. And of course, we have our own proprietary alignment system, which we will show maybe next year. I'm not going to say too much about it, but it allows us to beam power extraordinarily accurately, sort of like a size of a golf ball, traveling across the sky at high speed. So that's all going to be shown in due time. But for someone to imagine it, it's like a laser turret mounted on a drone hanger. It could be put on the back of a truck. It could be, just movable as well. So that's how to imagine it.
There was a Dubai-based defense show that actually happened the same week that we were in Abu Dhabi this past week. One of the key themes was obviously drones, but it was also drones that were in, let's say, boxes, or drones that could persist in the air kind of indefinitely, or tried to be indefinitely. We call them loitering drones, let's say. And then even drones that, as long as, as soon as they're on demand, they need to be launched, that their batteries are already fully charged and ready to go. Those were like kind of some of the key themes of the highlights of that show. Do you see this solution kind of addressing those types of needs?
So it's clear that drones need some sort of power system solution. It's clear that flying around for 10 minutes, 20 minutes is just not enough. So that's why people are trying to come up with an array of solutions regarding the box, drone in a box sort of solution. Some of them use induction, which is let's say a less superior system to magnetic resonance. So it needs to land in the box very precisely. It needs to align well. If it gets blown off course, there's a problem. Magnetic resonance and the drone hanger that we showed earlier handles a lot of those problems. This system in particular addresses when it's in flight. Now, of course, there are a few drones which are now effectively gliders, solar-powered gliders, where they have that whole top section of their wing covered in solar panels, and that gives them extended range. But what about their performance? And what about, in a way, the nervousness that comes with solar panels? We know that sort of feeling. So by actively beaming energy to such a system, yes, indeed, it will address a lot of those power concerns from a lot of those people who require those solutions.
Maybe a question, sorry, I'm just keep going here, Dom. Maybe a question around the power or the laser system. Is it possible that one laser system could maybe be set up across a border area, let's say, and that the drone could fly from like laser system to laser system and kind of persist?
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, whoever said that is really imagining the future, really seeing the future. So yeah, indeed. I mean, you could literally have an array of these systems set out across a border, or even, let's say, along a flight path, like a flight path of commercial airliners, for example. They always follow the same flight path, more or less. So in a way, you could create these powered highways in the sky using either the system that we have here, the optical system, or even the magnetic resonance highway, which I think will share one day as well.
So we know so much of marketing today is storytelling, and I think you kind of just did a very nice job about storytelling the future you guys kind of envision, but maybe lean into that a little bit more. And if you could put us in your shoes into the future you guys see for Impulsor Tech. Maybe storytell a
It-
bit on what a world with your technology looks like.
You wake up in 2028. You were on the stream back in 2025. How does the world look like for Impulsor?
I think, from the company's perspective, the vision is this will be from a government level, industrial level, civil level, consumer level. It's going to affect all of our lives for the better. It'll be able to prolong the energy transfer, and it's going to be done in such a way where later on this will be a lot cheaper as we scale. It's going to be very common, like Wi-Fi, like Bluetooth, where it's become synonymous to everyday living. This will be the same way that Impulsor will be changing the way we live. And we're very excited about it. But we haven't been making the right announcements yet. What will come in 2026 will be how AI will help to power and be enabled in the CPT tech.
Ooh, that leaves us with a lot to think about here. Going back to what Josh was talking about earlier, he mentioned a trade show, and you guys have mentioned quite a few times you have demos coming on the way. First and foremost, when can we expect some demos? What should we expect from these demos? And then are you guys taking this technology to trade shows anytime soon to get it out there?
Well, regarding the demos, it's always an interesting kind of challenge with hardware, whereby you're progressing, and if, let's say, one component is just marginally incorrect, couple of bolts just not lining up, you have to redo the whole thing. So you end up going back to the supplier, going back to the designer. We redesign it, we reorder it. The molds might need to change, the milling might need to change, etc., etc. So I can't. We will struggle to give accurate timings on when those demos will happen, simply because we're pushing very hard. And if one component doesn't arrive to the quality standard that we want, then we need to reorder that component, and that might cause some delays. In the same way, actually, Patrick was planning to show this demo on the at the start of December, and we had some deliveries of some components. I wasn't particularly happy with them, so we went back to the manufacturer, and that's why we can't exactly tell you when we will have demos. But you can rest assured that we're working very hard to go as fast as possible.
I saw that humanoid robotics video go viral a while ago of that robot kind of going around the house, doing daily tasks. When you guys think of this from a virality standpoint, and I'm sure you guys have focused or put some thought towards this when it comes to these demos you guys are working on, how do you get this thing just becoming the talk of the town in terms of Twitter and technology and advancements and all that stuff?
Once these products get into the market, both from an industrial and consumer level, people will know about us. They'll see the practicality and effectiveness, the efficacy of the product and the solution. Then this will become a lot more in the use case. So I think it'll be like 2026. We're going to be a lot more well known, especially from a use case standpoint. We're still at the very cusp of the genesis of the whole company and the products and the solution. So 26 will be a big year for us.
Noted. We're excited. Josh, Chill, I think that really gives a good wrap up on everything I was curious about. You guys give us a lot to look forward to with the AI, the many products you guys have talked about.
We maybe the Life Finder. You showed a little device that was another product that you had talked about. Can you just expand a little bit on what that product's used for? And I apologize
Sure.
if I got the name incorrect.
No problem. It's called Life Finder CPD. I'll let Roman talk a bit more about what it does and some parts of the functionality, but I think I would also like to maybe reserve a little bit of ammunition so that we can announce it more when the time is more appropriate. And the time would be imminent from days to maybe 1 or 2 weeks. Just in the Christmas period, we're trying to make a few things happen. And like you guys know us well enough now, when we want to give news, we want to give like solid news, not just like waffly stuff. We want stuff that when you hear it, wow, it's been done, not just a thought, it's a action. So Roman.
Yeah, well, so there was someone. So we posted that image, and there was someone in the comments who wrote, "Is that a smartwatch?" And I thought, wow, that's spectacularly close. So it's a wearable device that is very intelligent, and it is designed for people who work in hazardous environments. And we are going to CPT it, as well as I hope you guys will get to see a lot more of Tim as well, who is leading that particular project on LifeFinder. And I think he'll at some point come down onto the podcast and represent his particular field.
We're slowly revealing each of the team members, each of the products, day by day, week by week, so that there's a little bit more suspense.
We like it that way.
I like the way you said that, Dom.
Is that an adult supervision or what?
Yeah. You had a team member actually in Geneva. I don't know if you can expand on their role within Impulsor.
Yes, actually, one of our doctors, Dr. Julian, he was actually he was here earlier, but he's actually very sick. Most of the people in Europe are very sick right now. So we're gonna create some content the next few days when he's a bit better, and we'll make a formal introduction as to what he does. He's our CTO, the head of optical CPT. He'll talk about his background and what the industry, where it's going, the potential. He's got even a lot more to talk about than Roman does. So it's
he was supposed to be sitting here, actually.
yeah. So Roman's just a fill-in. So
yeah, I'm filling in.
He's
right
filling
now.
in, but he's a very adequate substitute.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Us people living in Northern Hemisphere, we get sick this time of year, so we'll give them a pass. Hey, look, you have 800 or so, 1,000 maybe holders here of CPT. You're obviously building out this vision. Normally, the public never gets access to these types of opportunities. I mean, if you show a really great demo of this, like Dom mentioned with the robot that went viral, demonstrating it, like people like seeing these things in real life, and that's the aha moment. I mean, I would assume that something like CPT really, people realize the value, let's say. But yeah, just like, give us the overall just vibe or feeling with bringing the public along at such an early stage versus keeping this super private and, only for yourselves and for VCs, I guess.
I think from my own personal viewpoint is that it's kind of like being a celebrity, right? When people get stopped in the street to ask for autographs, to take a selfie, it's just part of your your job nature, where once you become a celebrity, the guys who made you a celebrity are your fans. They're the guys who are paying for products, to see your movie, to buy your merchandise. And the same thing for us, it works both ways. On one hand, if you do it quietly, then no one knows about it and you keep your IP a bit more safe. But if you let it out there, the good thing is everyone knows about it. They ask questions, a lot of constructive feedback, which we've undertaking a lot, and you see what people want. And this support, if we play our cards right, then can be very, very beneficial. And obviously, at the same time, once you become a lot more prominent, also works the other way. So anything done badly or unethical can go sideways, and then it could end your career or the lifespan of your product, your company, very quickly.
Yeah, and to let everyone know who are unfamiliar with SOAR and the launch mechanics, the CPT token was not sold in the traditional capital raising where it's like, you invest a sum of money at a certain market cap and then get the tokens back. It was more fair launched on the SOAR platform. I believe you guys collect trading fees off the CPT token, but beyond that, the tokens are represented by a senior debt note. which ties the fundamental values of the company in if there's a liquidity event, let's say, and we've seen numerous liquidity events in crypto where token holders got zero, but it ties those potential liquidity events to the token itself, for people who are unfamiliar. So, yeah, now you've burned out 93%. So the only tokens in circulation are the tokens that are currently circulating. And if people are wondering, the only way to issue new tokens to raise additional capital is through believe a 30-day kind of disclosure period where people get to make decisions before that process can even begin. I don't know if Patrick, you have any additional kind of, information you want to provide or comments beyond what I did just there.
No, I think you've summed it up amazingly, Josh, as usual. Very detailed. We're just very happy to be here. I just hope that yourselves, thank you for giving us the platform to voice this. You've been our greatest supporter, also to all the different token holders out there. Shout out to Seven, who I had the opportunity to talk to. Smart guy. Love to talk to all the other holders. If you have any questions, DM me, write in the comments, give us good feedback, bad feedback. We're very open-minded. But hope you enjoyed today's news. But there is more coming.
There's
This was
more
awesome.
coming. This was awesome. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And maybe one last just thought, because I think this is kind of in the back of everyone's mind, is like, when does that first contract or that first, we go from kind of proof of concept on the desk, but to something that's potentially signed or firm that brings revenues into the business, et cetera. Like, are we talking early next year, late next year? When do you think something like that could happen?
I think it's very quick. Again, I want to stress that I don't want to jinx it. I only want to announce it once it's been done. So you guys know us pretty well enough, not just MCG guys, but the audience. They know that we do what we say. We've also got our non-SOAR, non-ICM, non-crypto hats on with our traditional TradFi. Our reputations are intact, and we want to keep it that way. So we want to make sure that everything's very up to speed before we do anything. So we have obviously consult our lawyers a lot before we say anything, especially the patent side, which we'll actually talk more about the next few days. So hopefully we can disclose a bit more information so people can study it more. And I think I'd like to stress one more thing is that the way that in TradFi it's valued, or how it's seemed, how the token is working, is actually very different to how the normal general crypto Web3 guy looks at it. And I encourage everyone to do a lot more research, to understand, to ask questions, and to not use their usual way of thinking to apply on this, because this is more of the general VC way of how you look at businesses.
Yeah, and for those also looking, like, you look at your favorite neo banking app worth $40 million. Software is something that can be replicated, and there's not a lot of moat there. But something that's hardware based like this is difficult to produce. There's only a handful of companies, if all, that are doing this, and they're all worth multi-billions of dollars in their own right, because they're building something physical, and that's hard. So yeah, just, it's a different type of investment that a lot of crypto people have not seen. They've all been quote unquote investing in software. And a question here by Mr. Parabolic. And I think we may have asked this, but the unit cost for some of these products.
So the unit cost is fairly difficult to estimate, but I don't want to I want to make it clear that we're not just selling a unit, we're selling the solution. So for example, going to the police drone case that we talked about earlier, when we go and speak to people, we're not just saying, here's a CPT component and hey, you can put it into your drone and okay, bye now. No, it's the full solution. In the same way as the Life Finder product, it's a solution. And so we're going to be talking in the range of let's say 2, 3, 4 times the current price of a drone system. So let's say a drone system costs 50,000. It'll be 3 to 4 times more initially, because you're not getting just a CPT drone which can fly indefinitely, which is way more than a current drone. You know, you buy a drone for 50,000 and it flies for 20 minutes and it needs to come back. You change the battery or you need to charge it, whatever. This, we're talking about continuous operation, and you're not getting just the drone, you're getting the whole solution around it. You're getting the transmitter station, you're getting the hangar, you're getting the drone itself, you're getting the software, you're getting the AI with it. So it's a full solution, and that's why we're so confident.
This is crazy. I'm excited to see that engine you guys have right there on that table shoved into a drone and then have some sort of like 3D image breaking down each component and just showing us the full view and how CPT works, and something dumbed down for us smooth brains out here to understand everything a bit better and see it visualized.
I would love to do a lot of that. I don't think I can do a 3D breakdown of every component. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe we'll discuss with the attorneys.
We'll make it happen, guys, in one way or another.
Love to hear it. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate your time. This stuff is pretty mind-blowing to see in person, and we appreciate the thorough demonstration and setup you guys have brought to us. So, you know, MCG will be keeping eyes on what you guys are building, CPT and Impulsor, and we're excited to get you guys back hopefully soon. And we're watching through the New Year's for these Christmas updates.
Thanks, guys. So shout out to everyone. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year if we don't see you beforehand. But I have a feeling that we'll be back in MCG much sooner
Universe.
than yeah.
Somehow I also get that feeling, Patrick.
Yeah.
You guys
Sang mode.
are
Sang mode.
Sang mode.
main characters in the MCG cinematic universe. So,
Yeah.
and we're here for it.
Yeah, we're here for it. All right, see you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, guys.
Sweet.
Wow, that was
That's insane.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Really quick, and I know we have Cruella here. Apologies, Cruella, who's waiting patiently in the waiting room. We just had like one of the craziest streams. A few thoughts here, guys. So number one is, yeah, I still got to see it happening. The drone engine's cool, but it like, how does it work, right? Like, I'm still trying to. I'll have to listen back to what Roman said.
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on in the background, like just on stream. So like definitely one worth going back to watch. But there's a lot to dig into here. They talked about the AI component. Like Dom, what do you think? Do you have a thought around the AI component? Like how does that work with this?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be insane. Of course, AI is gonna be deeply integrated into technology. That's the direction we're headed. So it's just like kind of naturally what's gonna happen. But I don't know. To me, this is pretty nuts. Maybe it's because I'm not in this hardware technology world where I see this all the time. But it's just like, I mean,
yeah, so the AI components really, there's well documented. So you can look at even the recent demonstrations of like F-35s flying with wingmen and whatnot. Like they basically all the flight controls, the comms between units, they're spread out, their tactics, how they fly are all done with AI. So there's that component, which is fairly well documented. This is a little different because you're beaming laser and energy. And if you think about it, you're shooting a little dot far in the sky. So there's some sort of how you beam it. And they mentioned a proprietary like aiming system, which probably is already run by AI. And then like Starlink has with the Starlink actually transfers data from satellite to satellite using some of this kind of optical systems as well. And you have to have the alignment right and the ability to transfer from station to station. So there's a lot of components here that you can't have someone clicking a button on a keyboard to do these things. It has to be all run by artificial intelligence. So but guys, like either like this is like the next, if this is like, real. Like we're talking.
I think what's most interesting to me is like I asked Roman to story tell a little bit too, because it's like realistically, I want to put myself in their shoes and just envision the future where this technology is fully incorporated into not just drones, but everything, right? The trains are running off this technology, the buses. And I know it seems far fetched and wide open. And we're not here to shill some product or be moon boys, but it's pretty cool to think about. And to think that they're bringing a truly unique and innovative product to the market that we actually haven't seen anything like before. It's really crazy to document
Yeah.
and just hear.
And I think if the DRP standard, and we're going to shift in a second, but this is just crazy what we just witnessed. The DRP standard 2 also protects the holders a bit here, because they can't just issue new tokens, right? And they have to go through a disclosure process. So let's say hypothetically in the old, pink sheet days of 2013, if you're investing in penny stocks in 2013, you could wake up to a I don't know, it was a form 4 or like a form 8 on the SEC of like new token or new stock issuance, and boom, you're down 30% and everyone's flooding. Oh, why are they raising? And they're just selling a story. That used to be the worst possible outcome. In this scenario, even if they want to issue new tokens, let's say, to raise additional capital, they have to put up a proposal. Then there's a 30-day period that is reviewed, and token holders can decide what they want to do. And so you can't just raise new capital. So it's not like they can just hype this thing up and then just like dump it, is basically what I'm saying. And I don't know that for 100% certain. We're still learning all these new mechanisms with DRP, but I feel like there's a little more protection here than if you're investing in some crazy next gen defense company in 2013 penny stock days.
Well, there's definitely more protection, I would hope.
So,
Maru,
anyways,
one last comment before we pivot. How do you guys categorize CPT, ICM plus power plus innovation, ownership plus AI? When I talk to friends, they ask me do you buy stock? How do you categorize it?
Ownership. That is very, I mean, like anything is like
CPT rather than SOAR, I think specifically.
Oh, CPT. Yeah, I mean, I would consider it like, I mean, it is an ICM token. It does fit in this sort of like, power, like AI narrative. But I think overall it's ownership, right? Through the DRP standard, you have a level of ownership as a token holder, and you have protections. Just, not, there's through the public disclosures and things of that nature. There are some kind of like rights you have.
Look at this as like venture investing. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Exactly the early phase seed checks, 9 out of 10 of them will probably be not great. 1 or 2 of them will be hits, and 1 of them out of 10 will be a $1 billion company. So, accordingly. So let's go to WOM, because this space is actually, this segment is for WOM. Cruella, apologies. And also that you saw like pretty much one of our craziest streams, by the way. These guys came on talking about like beaming lasers at drones and keeping them in the air forever. So what's up? Welcome to MCG. And you are muted.
Oh geez, still muted. Technical difficulties all around today.
All good. It's a live show. It happens. But excited to see some updates from WOM. WOM is one that we've covered like for, I mean, practically since they launched. That was like one that we covered early, back in the summer, and they've kind of evolved into into this attention layer for Solana. So excited to see like what they're building. Last time we had her on, Cruella, she was working on a ton of things, some more ICM specific as well. So yeah, excited to see what's happening with WOM. I guess while we wait,
we also
maybe
have yeah, please do. We also have Rifts too that is supposed to be on. We got pushed back, guys, because of the earlier segment. So we're gonna go WOM for 15-20 minute update here, and then we'll get to Rifts as well afterwards, guys.
I'm interested to hear from Cruella's perspective, what she sees attention like in the markets right now, because we know it's like in terms of impressions, everything is just so far gone right now compared to where it was about a year ago.
Hi guys, can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Perfect. What's up? Thank you for having me. It's so great to finally do this. How is everyone?
We're doing good. I'm not sure if you heard Josh, but we do apologize for getting you on a little bit later than expected, but it was a pretty crazy stream that
Yeah,
you're following
no
here. So
worries. Yeah. I just saw everything, all the fancy guys with the ties and everything. I listen. Yeah, but
Yeah, so you
no
just
worries.
you just witnessed one of the craziest moments on our stream. So happy that you got to witness that. I mean, since you've been on the last time here, Cruella, I mean, we've covered WOM several times before, but since then there's a much larger audience, a lot of new folks watching the show. So for those that don't know, kind of give us just a little bit about yourself, a little bit about WOM, just to introduce yourself to those that may not know you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I'm Cruella. I'm a founder of Whom, word of mouth analytics or AI. So I've been a software engineer for many years. I've been through many tech startups and many larger companies, mostly through fintechs, where I discovered the sentiment paradox that everyone in these startups, like these fintechs that had like crypto products and everything, they used to have this sentiment analysis that they didn't give to people, to actual users, and they did it on their own. So I decided, like, so I'm also a trader for the last 2 or 3 years now.
one of us.
Yeah, of course. And after Trump, that everything collapsed. I was like, okay, I'm so fucked up here in Europe. The time zone is awful. So every time we were losing like something, you wake up and the token has been through the night and it's the dump now. So I'm like, okay, I have to build something for myself and for others. So that's how I actually started building Goom and applying my knowledge from Web 2 world to Web 3. And yeah, Goom is actually a dashboard with mindshare, heat maps. We're doing a sentiment analysis with machine learning models where people can see how the crowd is speaking and what's going on there. And because of that, and actually at the moment we are 2 weeks away from launching what I think it's the best feature of Goom so far, and I wanted to talk about you guys here. It's something that has never been done in such a way before. So to get started, like we noticed that attention is the break point for most projects, and we're finally giving them a way to coordinate like they could do with liquidity. And I see you have there, um, you had the attention
We
markets
like
book.
your dashboard, by the way. I know you wanted to talk about marketing, but I do love your dashboard. So
Thank you so much. I think I know you're users of my dashboard, and I know that many people have found like so many gems through it, including myself, because you can actually see how people are talking about a coin and how the attention is spiking. But yeah, I want to talk about permissionless attention markets because I actually think this is the next step. So, okay, let me break down to you in like 3 simple steps. Okay, so it's permissionless attention markets. We're giving the chance to anyone to spin up a narrative and coordinate attention. What this means: creators compete to spread the message, and they get rewarded proportionally to their contribution. The mode here is that anyone can do this. Doesn't matter if you're a founder, a top holder, a DAO, a community. So, for example, you can be like, a community member of a Pump and token, and you can be like in the whale chat, and you can be like, okay, guys, the founder is not doing anything. We have to CTO this thing. And so you can get together and put some money and create a campaign. And people will join this campaign and will start spreading the word. So the timeline will be full of those tweets of spreading the word, okay? And then all of these rewards will go to the users. So it's a new way of marketing, and you don't have to have like a specific position to do that because everyone can just hop into campaigns and actually launch a campaign. So yeah, thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, so Karilla, I actually want to touch on this from your perspective. I was muted there. I was trying to get in there. But as someone who sees just chatter, sentiment, impressions all throughout Twitter, maybe talk about the importance of attention. I see, maybe from my perspective, something like Cluely go and raise a ton of money and essentially, in my opinion, maybe doesn't have the best product, but has attention in a chokehold here. How important is having attention in a market when you're trying to raise money or when you're trying to build a product or, go live? Your thoughts there?
I think attention is the number one thing everyone has to be focused on when they're building something. As you said, very smartly, like Cluely, I did this with a billboard. I remember, like in New York City, he has this billboard like just buy my startup, just fund me, something like that. It was just
Right.
a simple message. But we are in the 21st century, like 2026. Everything is about attention. Everyone also has a small attention span, so you have to give them like the message, the tweets, and everything there. Yeah, of course.
When you think about the vision of WOM and you understand that attention is like one of the most valuable currencies these days, it's something I've been thinking about as well. Even with AI, the emergence of AI and vibe coding, people can kind of whip up products, apps, what used to cost thousands of dollars and lots of time very quickly, which leaves us with kind of attention being the most valuable thing, right? Attention and distribution. So when you think of WOM and you understand attention in the markets, where do you kind of foresee this going in the future beyond just, maybe something that aggregates attention and shows what people are talking about? What's the future?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I think the next step and the most major one, and this is where our vision is going, is the permissionless attention markets. This is going to be huge because it's going to be like a whole new product slash feature that is going to give to everyone the chance to create campaigns. It's going to be a whole new marketing platform. You won't need anything like dex boosting or anything like that. You're not gonna need that because you're gonna reward your actual users, and then people will be incentivized to write better tweets, and more people will see that, and more influencers will see that, so attention will get spreaded, and you will reward this. Think about this like it's a new era of Facebook ads or Instagram ads or something like that, but on Twitter. And this is something that has never been done before. So the vision here is to expand to everywhere and until Web 2.
Okay, so I think the most difficult part about this, and Chill, I know you got a question. I'll let you go here in a second. But you have legacy platforms like Deck Screener, who I think generally everyone knows now they haven't really done a lot on the innovation side. They kind of just they're lackluster. But how do you take people from these legacy platforms and bring them onto something like WOM, who seemingly has more features, more benefits, more perks, but simply doesn't have the history that some of these platforms like Deck Screener and maybe others have?
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about this because this is a really good question, because I was thinking all the time that like people are hooked on Twitter, right? Because Twitter is already a known platform that everyone is talking about. Crypto Twitter is inside this bubble, like, so everything is on Twitter. So the point here is not to bring something and a new user to whom, but a new user that also, it's already on Twitter. But then, so the thing is that users will post on Twitter and will get rewarded for that. So you don't have to change platforms. Only the founders or the people that will want will go into Womb and launch a campaign, and then the post will be through Twitter. So you don't have to hop on or the screener or everywhere. You can do your search. We don't care about that. So this is something that is already been going on, but no one is actually how is the word, like no one is actually taking, not taking advantage of it, but like in a way that you can reward it, and you can reward users that writing the best threads. So for me, for example, because I'm also like a trader and a founder, and I want to see the timeline full of Womb posts, I was thinking how we can solve this problem. And I know that when you reward people to write better posts and theses and threads, they do have thing to do that.
Love it.
That's
Chill.
awesome. Yeah. So there's a question on that I wanted to ask about. So I've seen this before in a project. One of the kind of roadblocks was, we see on Twitter there's a lot of botted activity, right? Botted threads. So like, there's botted likes, retweets, there's botted accounts, and how do you guys kind of combat that through this platform? So someone launches a campaign, they're pooling, let's say like, 5,000-10,000 in Sol for this campaign. How do they prevent kind of like botted activity from kind of making it look like the word is being spread, but it's really not?
Yeah, the thing is that I'm actually using high-tech machine learning models where these are being trained, and through AI, of course. And this is something that will reward through many factors the users. So of course, we all know that there are bots, and many people are doing like for likes and I don't know, answers, replies in tweets and everything. But at the end of the campaign, the people that will get rewarded are the people that have actually influenced other people to write threads about it and to have a better thesis. And so we do reward like loyalty and better like authenticity of the posts and better threads and texts and posts. So we will monitor this to have through machine learning to have these genuine responses and posts and theses. So after this, when they see that, like when we have like, I don't know, like 100 people joining a campaign, and they see that only the first two that had an actual thesis are winning the rewards, then people will want to not bot these things, but actually write better posts. So you will have a timeline, not just with answers, but with better answers, because this is like a self-fulfilling prophecy and a waterfall effect.
Got it. I've actually been very bullish on an idea like this one. And I'm glad you said you kind of talked a little bit about like machine learning, kind of being able to filter through some of these threads, some of these posts that are being done. But I'm very bullish on this idea because at the community level, oftentimes it's very easy to coordinate when there's, when you have this kind of collective belief in a project. Now with this campaign, like how exactly does it work? So is there going to be like a dashboard? Is there going to be like a leaderboard as well for that particular campaign? How would users form a pool and get started?
Yeah, so the thing is, it's gonna be super easy. People, anyone, this is why we're saying this as a permissionless attention market. Anyone can hop in there and in our product and just launch a campaign under 30 seconds. We actually do have like a video about this.
Yeah, sure. Let me
yeah,
let me
that would
share
be
that.
really cool because
I'm pulling it up here actually. Sorry, it's a window on Telegram, so it's
I got you,
like
bro.
oh, you got it? Okay. And you got system audio on?
Yep.
All right, cool.
All right, let's go ahead and look at this video here.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We've talked to people on the show even that have had Josh, you might recall this. They had a gaming studio, and I think they spent nearly $1 million, and their tests came back, and majority of the people that I got to was completely botted, and in the end, they only gained like 3 users of the product after spending $1 million.
Who was that? I remember
I
this now.
forget. I
I
remember
remember
hearing
thinking,
that.
I'm like, oof.
Yeah,
Ouch.
but the truth is, like, we see these KOL managers, you see these marketing agencies on Twitter, and 9 out of 10 times, I would even say 9.9 out of 10 times, they actually offer no real value, and all you get is botted accounts, botted people, and no real tangible impact on whatever it is you're trying to market. So something like this is important, where you can really track, you know, true impressions, true impact. So I do think it's interesting. It's something that we're moving in the right direction when we see stuff like this.
Yeah, I love a product like this one. So just for everyone to understand, like there was another project years ago that actually tried to do the same thing. I don't think with WOM, you guys have a lot more tech on the back end actually powering this. So I love to see the way that you guys are differentiating yourself. I love the campaigns that can go 7 days, 15 days, 30 days, depending on what these users are looking for. I guess the question that I had was just on the BD side, the offering side, like what traction are you seeing? What are projects already interested in using something like this, or is this more like a community effort? Are communities using this yet?
So yeah, to be honest, everyone is approaching us, and it's so fun to see that many projects that I didn't even actually know that exist yet, are approaching us to launch a campaign with us. We do have some partnerships that we're lining up, and we want to line this for the campaign month. So we do have some lineups there. I'm not gonna disclose anything yet. But I think, yeah, this is a problem we are trying to solve, and I think it's gonna be pretty huge. And we do have many people. I think for now it's mostly like founders or business developers of founders that they are talking to us. I think it's really important to um, have also community members that want to launch, but I think this will come like as a second step as they see the launching days and the product and the dashboard, that they will, it's a bit more as a second phase thing, I think, because they will be able to hop on there as a community and launch a campaign.
Cruella, can you walk us through a bit of what we just saw on screen here? Maybe the process to launch a campaign, you deposit the USDC, how does it get paid out to users? What's your cut of that? Just maybe the whole process.
Yeah, for sure. Also, before we do that, I want to share with you, it's a Typeform link. Maybe you can share it with people. It's for our early access partners. If anyone that hears us is interesting, I'm only sharing it here because I really like your podcast and I really like you guys. So yeah, I'm sharing here so everyone that wants can hop on, and we can figure out a way to launch together in our line a month. So yeah, do you want to see the video again, or should you yeah, we can do that as well.
So let's maybe walk through this. Okay, start. Oh shoot, go a little
It's
faster.
it's a bit more detailed, yeah.
Well, maybe everyone in their own time can go through this and walk through these. We can get you guys a Typeform. But generally, what's the goal from this right here?
This is more of a way to learn more about the projects that want to launch and campaign with us, so we can find a way and advise them on what is the best campaign at the moment. And we are adding like a lineup for our first month of launching this. So we are putting out like an early partners campaign. We do have some partnerships at the moment, and we can have some more. So yeah, so that's why the Typeform. In order to guide you through the steps, I think
I can pull up the video. Maybe you can kind of just walk us through. I'll pause it whenever you need me to.
Of course, yeah. So the thing is, as I said, like, we want this to be super simple, super quick. This will be the dashboard. The user will log in through Twitter and can go and create a campaign. There he will add like campaign name, contract address, TikToker symbol, and mission belief. This is like a description for what do you want to be, like why do you want to have this campaign, everything. If you want to pause a little bit and go like a step back. Yeah, that's great. So just to mention here that you don't have to have a token. We are actually speaking also with projects that don't have a token yet. It doesn't matter. This is something we want to launch for actually if you have like a feature you want in your already project. So if you want to showcase a feature, or if you want something to be more, for people to be more vocal about it, you can launch a campaign here. So yeah, it's not like required to have a token or a contract address. We don't care. You're adding like your Twitter then, and then a banner, because we want to be like more fun and have some visuals as well. And then as a next step, second step, you're choosing the timeline that you want your campaign to run. And there we have like the rewards, campaign, and how many winners we will have there. Of course, we do have the custom case where people like can talk to us and find a way together to dominate the timeline for more than 30 days. And then it's just that you just fund your campaign, and the campaign activates and starts. This is all happens like automatically through our backend systems with 402 technologies, high tech, of course. Yeah, you don't have to do anything. Everything is seamlessly. This video actually is from a creator's perspective. From a user, you will be on the dashboard. It has another, like you can go like to the homepage and you can explore the current active campaigns, and you can just click join, log in through your Twitter. You can add your reward wallet, and then you can just start tweeting. And our machine learning systems will track everything, and you will be able to hop on Room and see the live leaderboard and see where you stand, and see maybe others that are above you, and see and think like, okay, why these people are in first place and I'm in 10th place? I have to make and write better tweets. And this is how the leaderboard will be ranked. And then of
That's
course when
awesome.
then the campaign completed, we get all the payouts. Yeah, everything seamlessly, automatically, very easy and quick. Get rewarded to write posts.
So you can sign up in 30 seconds. You can have your community, or even really this can even be done for KOLs, right? Like I'm assuming, there could be a custom pool of a much larger amount that's open to maybe only a few, or how would that work if someone
No,
wanted
this is
to?
open for everyone.
Okay.
If you are a call, yeah, and you do have great thesis, you might get rewarded. If you have bots, you will not get rewarded. It's
The
like
reason
that.
I ask is because there's a very big market around, like getting KOLs and to, spread to talk about something, create a narrative, talk about a project, etc. And like what we talked about before, $1 million spend for 3 users, that's
Yeah.
oftentimes what happens with a lot of these KOLs, because a lot of them, often are botted and things of that nature. So I'm glad that something like this is being created, but I think it's really going to disrupt that part of the market. I think that's really what something like this will be disruptive with. And I think it's awesome that you get community members involved as well. But Dom, I know you had a question, so we'll shoot to
Yeah,
you.
one last question before we wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when we think about the markets during a bull market, we know marketing spend is very high. Sometimes there are, hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes millions of dollars, just to make sure you get your product out there. And we see this happen all the time during a bull market. Assuming we go into a bull market again, what does your BD side look like? How are you going and campaigning yourself to the right people to get get the marketing budgets from these teams to go into your product, or go through WOM campaigns rather than other means of marketing?
Well, I think, for starters, we are an old project. We already have many users, many people know about us. I think the product is the market cap and it will speak for itself. And after people seeing the influence this will have, they will just want to have their campaign launched as well. So I don't think there is so much, the marketing is there.
Okay, so
And
you're
how
not
does
maybe going project to project and then soliciting in terms of, hey, I think you guys could use some campaigns. Maybe try our product. You're just saying, hey, when the market picks up, we'll be the go-to solution because of our track record and what we offer.
I actually think that I hope the market gets better, but even if it doesn't, this is a way to spread the word for your project through the timeline for everyone. So, yeah, we do have I do have connections with founders and everything, and Metera, has been really supportive, but this is already staked and it's obvious, but yeah.
got it? And when it comes to just to kind of put a bow on all of this, how does this all accrue value to the token? Where does the token come in all of this?
Well, actually, we decided to not do this for launch month, but afterwards, you will need to have a really small amount of room in order to join a campaign. This will be like a ticket fee. Think of it this way. It's gonna be like a $20 or something like that. So yeah, it will be a requirement to have some room in order to be able to join and participate to all of these campaigns. So this will get us more into everything. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Sounds good. Well, look, I think you guys have a really awesome product. Like I said, like there's a very big, KOL market. There's a very big marketing problem that we have in our space, and I think this is one that can actually go at solving it. So, we always, us, we love the WOM product, and can't wait to see what you guys are building out. So as we wrap up here, like, what are you guys most excited about going into 2026?
Of course, we're excited about WOM campaigns. I think it's gonna, as you mentioned, it's gonna disrupt the market. We have everything lined up. Everything is fine tuning, and in a couple of weeks we are launching this. And also, I want to mention for the wrapping up that we will have also a really strong referral program for people that will gonna bring us more founders, that will bring us for more campaigns. I'm not gonna disclose that yet, but yeah, stay tuned and you will find out very soon.
Awesome.
Boom.
Awesome. Always a pleasure having you on, Cruella. Wishing you the best as you continue to build out WOM. We love the product. We love the founder. So you're always welcome to come back, but can't wait to see what 2026 has in store for you.
Thank you, guys. It has been a pleasure. You're doing such an amazing job. Thank you so much for having me. Have a nice day. Have a nice night.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right,
Happy
Thank you.
holidays.
Take
Yeah.
care.
Bye. Bye.
Sweet.
Chatette. I love that. Really great product. There was a similar project like this a few years back, and
I'm trying to remember the
this ki-
name of it. It was like one of those community like bounty things.
Yes, it was basically that. And I just remember thinking like, wow, this could actually be pretty huge. Just depending on the growth, depending on if it gains traction. But there's a ton of KOLs out there. Like, and that was like in ETH days when there was like a ton of sketchy deals and stuff happening in the background. But oftentimes, when you enlist a big account, the marketing problem is you don't get the output. You don't get what you need out of a marketing campaign, and typically teams overspend. So with a product like WOM, I think they'll do a really good job at disrupting that market. So can't wait to see what
We have
what
riffs on.
happens next.
Yeah, and I used that product back in the day. I used to run marketing and DeFi on ETH, so not for
Nice.
Ethereum, but like for protocol. But we have riffs. Riffs, quick mic check. Are you with us?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we are.
Hello.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, perfect.
Riffs, how's it going? How's everything? Welcome to the
yes,
stream.
Thank you, guys. So it's going pretty well. I mean, it's not the best day in terms of the market, right? But of course, I showed up anyways. And let me know, would you guys like me to introduce the project, or do you have
Yeah,
anything
I guess the best way
to
to
ask
just
at
kind of
first?
kick it off before we get into the project itself, just kind of talk about yourself, who you are, and then we can kind of transition into what you're building.
Yeah, sure. So in this case, I am the speaker, but in the project, I am basically in charge of social media and contacting teams or partners, basically. And in terms of the project itself, I'm not the developer on the backend of the code, right? We had our spaces in the project 2 weeks ago with the developer, but he's not present at this moment. In fact, he's working right now, making the arbitrage work better. So my position in the project is basically managing social media and talking with teams who want to partner with us, and etc. I also brought the Git book, and I didn't make the entire skeleton of the project itself in terms of fees or the cost or the profit advantages. But I made some of the things, like some of the decisions in the project were made by myself, so I can talk about them very well. Um, so yeah, that's my position inside Reefs, basically. I'm not the owner,
Gotcha.
but I'm pretty involved.
Got it. Got it. So you're the you're the marketing lead there, let's call it. And so yeah, just talk a little bit about Rifts. What are you guys building? I see here honestly what you guys build what you guys are building reminds me of something that I've seen on Ethereum. So just talk a little bit about what you guys are building, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, so we basically built the base of our utility is that you can wrap tokens, and those tokens hold the value, and they are fully backed to one against their main token. So for example, let's pick Solana itself. If you want to make a rifted pool of Solana, so R Sol, the R stands for rift, of course, you're going to need an amount of Solana, let's say 10 Solana, in order to mint, right? Because you have to create a new token in order to create 10 worth of supply of Rifted Sol, right? So you can, this is why it's very important. All of the assets that are made into a Rift, they are fully backed. This is not anything Ponzi or token related. You have to have the tokens in order to create a Rift of the token. Like you have to have the main token, right? In order to create a Rift in the first place. So that's a very important factor for what I'm going to say next. So how do we make money? Because this has no use, right? There is many wrap tokens that this has existed for many years. So yeah, so the difference is when we wrap a token, we have our own pool. We do all of this using Meteora. That's very important. So every time you're making a pool and people are trading it, that's giving fees to Meteora. So how do we make money? We are running an arbitrage bot, and that arbitrage bot, as you can see, that all of that revenue is not in tokens. All of the revenue is in Solana, because we are pairing the tokens with Solana. It's important to say that we could pair the tokens with USDC as well. We can pair the tokens with anything. This is all done on Meteora, so it works like a normal pool on Meteora. We are not using our own DEX tech or decentralized exchange that you don't know of. Now we are using Meteora, so everything is safe and transparent. So the arbitrage bot, what it does basically is it makes sure the pools are level out at the same price. So if my pool, let's say I created a pool, Rifted Solana is at one, you see the dump on Solana right now, right? So it was on 130. Our pool is not going to dump with Solana, and it's fully backed by Solana. So when Solana goes down to 122, like it did, our bot is going to buy on the main Solana pool. So it's going to buy back Solana with, I don't know, USDC probably. And then it's going to sell RSOL, which is our own pool, RSOL USDC, to make a profit. So now, of course, this is not ideal for big cap tokens, not because it doesn't work. It always works. The bot always makes profits. The thing is that they don't move that much, like Solana may go down 5% in a day, 10% goes up 5%, like that's good. But if you're trading on like 10K liquidity, a 5% move is $500 minus fees, that's $400, and that's an entire day, and you're risking 10K. You're not risking to lose it, but you're using it in a way that could be used better. So opportunity cost. So what's a real
Got
use case for Rift protocol? It's basically tokens. You see, we all know how Solana is. I come from Ethereum as well, so you guys know that Ethereum used to be way more quiet and the tokens will slow moon stealth launches. Solana is more hype based. Things go up, they go down really quickly. There is lots of volume, but most importantly, there is lots of volatility. So the way Rift works is that when there is a lot of volatility, the arbitrage bot is going to be trading a lot more and it's going to make swings that are bigger. So it's going to make way more money. So that's why we think Solana is the best change for this utility. And I know there's have been similar ones on Ethereum, but we think this is way better. Firstly, I finished introduction here. Firstly, the arbitrage bot is automatic. This is not something that we are expecting medbots to use we are not expecting medbots to balance the pool by themselves. We have our own arbitrage bot, which has the same speed as a medbot. All it does is balance the pools, and when a token has a lot of volatility, we basically make a lot of money. And I have a couple examples as well to show you guys later. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
your utility.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So just to
Do you have any
summarize for the
questions?
audience,
Yeah.
real quick. So you guys basically are a protocol that creates these R assets. So we would basically you have one asset, there's a double created, that's an R asset, and then there's, based on how volatile it is, you guys are able to arbitrage, and that's how you guys make money. That's how you guys generate revenue, right? Am I kind of getting
Yeah.
that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. And I've seen I saw the tweet.
Yeah.
Like generated, I believe.
Okay, it seems like Chill's
If I'm not
breaking up a
mistaken, yeah,
bit.
here's the
Cutting
tweet
off.
here.
He was cutting off, yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. Chill, if you're back with us, I'll let you take it. If not, I can go. Yeah, I think what he was about to get into was you guys have crossed 30K in total protocol fees. Maybe walk us through a bit about how you're generating fees, how you project yourselves, continuing to grow that pie, you know, how you guys grow a treasury. Obviously, the more money you have, the more money you can make. Maybe just walk us through the entire breakdown of how you guys generate revenue and how you project yourselves growing that in the future.
Yeah, sure. So there are a few things I'm going to. If you go to the website, you can find the analytics. There is a live metrics button on the app, so that's what I'm looking at right now. If you want to go there, if not, so there, because I'm going to name all of them anyways. But basically, this sums up. This is a sum up of all of the. I'm gonna send you a link. This sums up everything about our platform, every fee, everything that comes in and comes out. Everything is in there. There is full transparency about it. So we know the exact source of income and the percentage that it represents. So of course, arbitrage bot is not our only revenue source. However, all of the revenue is coming from what the arbitrage bot does. And that sounds a little bit confusing, but yeah, you will get it once I explain it fully. So the total value locked does not related to revenue, that's just how much real money, to name it that way, right? Like how many real tokens are we using to back up the pools we have, right? So of course that goes down and up a lot because it depends on the market cap of the tokens. If we have a pool that was worth 10K, now it's worth, I don't know, 5K, because the token went down, the total value lock is going to go up and down, but that's not a revenue. What matters is a revenue. So if you check the, give me a second. Yeah. So if you check the second data, which is 24-hour volume, that is pretty important. That's basically 100% us. There are some people trying to trade as well, but they're catching very tiny swings. So that volume is the amount of trading that our arbitrage bot is doing every day, so 24 hours. And that trading doesn't only bring in profits, it also generates fees, because on every Rift, there is a 0.3% fee for wrapping, and there is a 1% token tax fee. I'm going to say, like, why would you want a token tax fee? Wouldn't you make more arbitrage if you didn't have it? Yes, but if we didn't have that fee, we would have way more competition from other medbots. So that's why it's important to have that fee. And there is another reason to have that fee, which is the token fee. And that reason is that people could make a Rift pool, and they could trade inside that pool instead of trading with the pool that we made against Solana. I know that sounds confusing, but basically they will be using another pool and that will limit our arbitrage. So in order to not let people use another pool, we need to put token tags in the Rift. So every Rift comes with a text tag, is what we call it.
And can you do me a
if you're
favor?
team,
Could
Yeah,
you do me a
sure.
favor real quick and define what a mevbot is? Because I think most people see mevbots, and it stands for what, maximum extraction value or something like that.
Minor
Yes,
extractable
yes.
value. Or is it maximum or minor?
I think it's maximum. Yeah, it has to be
Okay.
maximum, I guess,
All right.
because yeah.
So maybe explain to everyone what a mevbot is, because I think when people see it, they just think about mevbots slipping price up way high and then filling you at a bad
Oh yeah,
price.
sure.
So maybe explain what a mevbot
Yes.
is.
So the difference between the thing is a mevbot, we use it that way because in reality we are from running transactions, but we are not taking money from someone who bought with a lot of slippage. What the arbitrage is doing is trading before someone else trades the price difference between a rifted token and the main token. So we are not front running anyone from the main token. The mevbot that everyone knows, which is the one you described, that's a mevbot that works in one pool. So it buys in one pool, pushes the price up, then some fortunate buys comes in, and then it sells on top of them. So it takes from their tokens, and this basically, we could say, a little bit shady, but that's not what we are doing. What we are doing is trading from our pool to the other pool, and back and forth, of course. So what does this mean for the project? If you're a project and you want to create a Rift, what you're going to have is basically a market maker, because when a token goes up a lot, like constantly up, right? Like 5 to 10% up in one candle, the bot is going to sell not on the buys, it's going to sell on the chart. It's not going to buy and sell on the same chart. It's going to buy on our chart, which is a Rifted token, and it's going to sell on the main token. So that's basically a market maker. And that's the arbitrage profit, the price difference between our pool and the main pool. But when it goes back down, because, oh, wait, so it's selling my chart. Oh, no. When it goes back down, it's going to do the exact same thing. If your token goes back down and our Rifted pool is above the price, what our bot is going to do is buy your token, and with the money that with the tokens he bought, which are the main token, right? We can go and send them in the Rifted pool because we can wrap them. That's why the wrap mechanic is important, because one of the things some people say is, why do you need to wrap? Can't you do this with like no wrapping? No, you have to wrap, because when you wrap, you're making sure that there is always a one-to-one backing, and that's very important, because if not, I can make any token. And
Sorry,
yeah,
I said
sure.
you go chill, but what's the use
Yeah,
case
yeah.
for the wrap token itself?
Yeah, so the reason you need to wrap is because if you don't wrap, you can't really have a way to claim the asset 100% in a one-to-one backed way. So
No,
if you
I
don't wrap,
understand that, but like,
yeah,
let's say I'm a trader, right? I come along and
Yeah.
buy the wrapped token. Why would I buy that versus just buying, whatever the normal token is?
Oh, yeah. So initially, we were planning to let traders buy the token and arbitrage for themselves. Right now, there isn't really an incentive for you to buy the Rifted token unless our arbitrage bot isn't working or is offline. So then you can arbitrage yourself. But the idea here is not buying the arbitrage token. The idea here is rather, if you have the main token, you can make a Rift of that main token, which you have, use it as backing, which is the main, you're backing with your own tokens, and then you can make a percentage of the arbitrage profit share that you're making. So I don't know, you have 10%, no, not 10%, that's too much. You have 1% of a token at 5 million, and you make a Rift of it. The name, I don't know, Mono Rift is the name we gave it, and the token is Pepe. So you have 1% of Pepe, you put it in the platform, you have to set a range, and the platform is going to sell those tokens within a range. That's normal, right? No, but it's also going to arbitrage with your tokens. So let's say if you were to sell 1% of 5 million, you will get 50K. I mean, that's a good payout. That's 50K. If you were to put those tokens in arbitrage between the ranges of 5 million to 6 million, and the tokens go to 5 million, then to 6, then goes back down to 4, then goes back up to 7, and it goes back and forth, right? Every time the token swings, you're making more money. So
right, and but what
yeah.
creates the what creates the arbitrage opportunity? Like, is people trading our Pepe, or is that being used in DeFi elsewhere? Like, do you have this ecosystem of use cases like lending, staking, all this kind of stuff for the R asset that creates these type of arbitrage opportunities?
Or are buys automatically routed to the more affordable asset?
Yeah, that's a good. Let me answer dineros first because that's
Okay.
closer to what I was saying. Sorry. So people could buy the asset that's being arbitrage, which will hurt our arbitrage, and that's why we made the 1% token tax fee. Exactly, because if we don't do that, they will ruin our arbitrage. So I mean, they can, but it's not convenient. They should just buy the main token. And about Josh's question, we are solely making profit based off the price difference. So the delta is so basically the delta is a volatility. If the token has a volatility of 10% in 1 hour, we are going to make 10% of as much liquidity we are trading with, because that's the price difference. If the token goes back to where it was, so it goes from 5 to 6 million back to 5 million, it's going to buy back those tokens again at a lower price. You're basically going to have the liquidity you deposited, which is all on Meteora, by the way. This is very important. When you deposit liquidity, this is all done on Meteora. That part of our utility is not something we built ourselves, because there's no need to. Meteora is already really good. So you're going to get your liquidity, which you already have. It's always in your wallet. We are not taking your liquidity or your tokens. This is non-custodial. This is not centralized in any way. And you're also going to have arbitrage profits on top of it. So if your tokens were useful for us to make, I don't know, $1,000 on a 5% swing, now you have the same exact tokens. You didn't lose anything. You didn't risk anything. You can put it with at any time, and you also made $1,000 in arbitrage profits.
So I'm gonna do this one because I understand the arbitrage stuff. Like, that's well understood. So you have Pepe token, right? And then all of a sudden I come to Riff, I create a Riff. Now I have my Pepe tokens and I have these R Pepe tokens. So I have 2 tokens now. And basically how you make money is, you know, someone buys our Pepe, right? And then you come in and kind of like, you know, make the market so that they're equal. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So why would someone come in and buy our Pepe is my question.
No, but that's the thing. They're not buying our Pepe, they're buying the main Pepe. And when they buy the main Pepe, we can buy cheaper tokens which are backed by your tokens because you deposited Pepe. We can buy cheaper tokens on our Pepe and sell them on the main Pepe pool for more.
So basically what you're saying is, if I'm understanding this correctly, you're saying that by creating an R, let's just go with the Pepe example, by creating an R Pepe and creating a regular Pepe, there's an opportunity for arbitrage for the protocol itself to buy and sell at moments that makes that profitable for the protocol. Now, if you are a user and you're kind of coming in and you're creating R Pepe and Pepe, you're basically able to earn yield on an otherwise on your holdings. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to, right? Like, I'm assuming that's where you're coming from. Like, you're creating 2 assets. There's arbitrage, and that's how you guys make money. But are you guys making like a percentage off each trade? Like, how does that part work?
Yeah, so the way partnerships work, it depends individually, right? So if you're a user and you just want to create a monorift, you can go create one right now. The default is 50-50. So let's say you create a monorift of Pepe, your position is worth 50K. It goes back, it goes up, it goes back down. You say, okay, I want to sell this Pepe. So you pull the liquidity and you sell on another platform related to us. And then you come check our profits here on Rift. And you made $1,000, $2,000. So that's going to be 50-50. So $500 for the platform and $500 for you. And if you're wondering how does this benefit the Rift token, we are currently buying back 100% of the revenue we make, not all at once. We have bought back, if you scroll down a little there in the screen, we have bought back already 50 Solana. We should show the value somewhere. Yeah, buybacks. That value used to be higher, but because Solana went down, so it's now 6.10K, but at the time it was 7K. So you're basically keeping 50% of what the arbitrage bot makes, and you're getting all your tokens back.
So So in
Yeah.
terms of user growth, how do you plan on growing the users of this protocol? That's for I have a few questions like around team and future plans and like smart contract risks and stuff like that. But first, like how do you plan on growing a protocol like this one?
Yeah. So the main thing we are focusing on is basically that we want to get more projects and teams to partner with us. And why wouldn't you want normal users? Yeah, normal users is useful as well. But the thing with projects is that they are usually willing to hold their tokens for longer because they are the project. So when they hold the token for longer, there is more space, more time for a bot to make money from the volatility. So if there is 5% volatility daily, you're going to make some money every day. And if you have it for 1 week, that's going to be 35% on your position in 1 week. That's a lot of money. That's an insane APY if we talk it annually. And however, if you're a user that just wants to make some extra money before selling, maybe you open a pool and you close it in 6 hours and you make an extra $500 and you don't care. And we of course want to welcome those people as well, but we are focusing on teams right now. That's our main focus. We have had 6 teams use our utility. We already got really good reviews from 3 of them, specifically Lashy for Fortuna Protocol and Canelcorn. All 3 of them made a few $1,000. One made, I think, 1,200. This is with a 4K position. So I'm saying this guy risked. He's not risking, remember, because it's his own token, but he's holding that token in the put, and in under 1 week he made around $1,000 from a $4,000 position. And if annually, that's an insane amount, just saying.
So
He got
he's
his tokens
making
back.
$1,000. Is someone or aggregate people losing $1,000 from slippage or a spread?
No, exactly, because we are not trading for slippage. We are trading against our chart, not against the user that buys on their chart.
Yeah, I get it. I'm
So,
trying to understand where the
yeah.
$1,000 comes from, right? It's a zero sum game.
Oh, yeah. So, no, of course. So the $1,000 comes from us buying a chart and selling a chart. And so basically, when someone buys, regardless of the slippage, because after you buy, you can sell on top of that person. You don't have to do it on the same block, right? It's like a market maker. You are selling the top and buying the bottom, but wait, how do you always sell the top and buy the bottom? Yeah, of course, we can't always sell the top and buy the bottom, but the arbitrage bot is only going to make transactions that are profitable for it. So if there is a price difference, it's going to make a profit no matter what. And it's not going to be front running any person. It's just going to be the first one trading in our own pool, because that's the pool we have control of. It's our own pool. The main pool, if you ape 50 Solana without slippage, if you get, maybe it was not by us, it was by someone else. But after your 50 Solana buy, if that 50 Solana buy made I don't know, 5% price difference, and then our bot is going to sell not in the same block because we are not a mem bot, but it's going to buy on our pool and send the chart. So basically, like a market maker, it's going to make, it's basically like having more liquidity, right? Because
right, but to boil this all down to its brass tacks, for someone to make $1,000, that means either one or an aggregate amount of people get a worse fill to the tune of $1,000.
Yeah, so what's happening is his chart is getting market maker. It's like a market maker. The market maker makes profit, and then it gives it back to you.
Yeah, I
so
that.
I mean, it's not. I have to say, it's not to one person. It's a lot.
Right,
of
it might be a lot of people losing a little bits amount versus like, and of course, I mean, most users I don't think are that price sensitive, but at some level, okay, understood. I just want to make it easy for people to understand where the yield comes from, right? So for someone to make $1,000 of yield, a aggregate amount of people have to take that little bit of spread. They have to lose that little bit of spread versus a fill somewhere else, right?
I mean, they're not really losing because it's.
But they are. The money has to come from somewhere, right? So
no, yeah, I know, but like they're buying the token for the same exact price that they would. That's the thing, right? A MEV makes you buy on a different price than you're buying. We don't modify where you're buying the price. If you bought your tokens for 50 SOL on 1 million, we are not going to change that. We are not going to make you buy them for 60. That's what a MEV does. We still make you buy it for 50. What we are doing is reducing the liquidity on one pool and pumping the liquidity on the other pool. And if you think, wait, so that's taking away some liquidity from the main token. But when it goes back down, you're going to do the opposite. Because when it goes back down, you're going to buy on your main pool, let's say you are the token owner, and you're going to sell on our pool, which is a pool we made from your tokens. So there is zero risk for you, right? Because you put those tokens there.
What I think we need is a nice video graphic demonstration of how this works
Yeah.
in real time to really help resonate with the people.
Yeah.
Is that something you guys have thought about?
We could work on that. I'm not sure we have an exact video representation of the bot acting in real time. That's a good idea. However, like I said, right, it's not going to affect your entry price on any token. That's the most important part, because I remember on the first day, people were saying that this is like a MEV bot. No, because a MEV bot, what it does is it buys and sells on one singular pool. So when you want to buy 100 tokens for $200, it's going to make you buy them for 300. We are not doing that. Oh, but we are doing it to everyone. No, we are not doing it to everyone either. We are just acting as a market maker. We are making sure the price stays within a range. And what's that range? It's a range you set. So there is one important thing that I forgot to mention. When I mention range, that's because when you create a pool, if you're using DLMM, which is a Meteora pool, right? A type of Meteora pool, you can put a range there. So from 5 million to 6 million. So what's the bot gonna do? So when it goes close to 6 million, the bot is going to be trying to sell all your tokens. And when it goes close to 5 million, it's going to try to sell none of your tokens. And with the token sold, it's going to have a liquidity. So it's basically a second liquidity. It's a second liquidity of your project that we arbitrage with.
And love that you're
There's no
using
MEV
Meteora,
bot.
by the way.
Yeah.
We're a huge fan of Meteora, so.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. We are as well, because they are basically 50% of the powerhouse of our utility, honestly. Yeah.
Got it. So I
So
see here on the website, you guys have, I think it is like 40 users, 40, maybe a little closer to 50. Is this like, how do you guys plan on growing this? I think really for us, it's really hard to understand the different scenarios. It just needs to be put in like a kind of simpler messaging. But how do you guys plan on growing these users? Um and also I want to talk a little bit about the team after this as well.
yeah, sure. So the way we plan to grow mainly is by getting teams. Like I said earlier, right? Right now the users are mostly teams. It's not individuals trying to make some more money from their holdings. Although we want to get to that later, but as like I said earlier, it's mostly teams because they have a lot of tokens. If you're a team, right? Usually in Solana, this is not like Ethereum where you have tax. In Solana, you want to hold a lot of tokens, so you have some supply left over that you're not using on anything. Basically, you can create a rift with us. The rift works like a second liquidity in a way, because it makes dumps are less hard for your main token, but pumping is also a bit harder because we are leveling out the price at every time. And so what's going on is like we are offering a market making service, but we are giving you a percentage of the profits. And this market making service is not, you can measure it as much as you want. You always have the tokens. Like if you use a market maker, you have to give them the tokens. You have to trust them. It has to be custodial, and they can. I don't know. Sometimes people take their tokens and run, but in our case, you're just making a Meteora pool, and the arbitrage bot is doing all the work, and your tokens or Solana, because you can add double side. You can add both tokens and Solana, but whichever position you added is always safe because it's back to one. So, like I said, you basically can't lose.
Got it.
Is this a
And
situation of diminishing return? Like if you guys have 460 users rather than 46 active users, does this APY dwindle, or is that not an issue?
Let me think. No, I don't think it dwindles. That APY actually heavily depends on the volatility that there is in the market. So right now it's very low because these past few days uh, we haven't made as much as the week before or the one before that as well, and that's basically because of volatility. If we grab the APY from a few days ago, it was like 300%, then it was 400%, now it's at 40. So like I said, this depends a lot on the volatility of the tokens. people will probably think that it depends on the volume, but that's not true. It doesn't depend on volume, because if you have a million volume and you go up and down $1 from a $1,000 valuation, there is no volatility to make money from. So we would rather you have 500K volume and you go from 1,000 to 1,200. That's a 20% swing for a bot. So
this
that's
isn't
a lot of
a
money.
strategy that gets diluted based on more users joining.
Well, technically, it does. It's a function
I
of
mean,
users and volatility. So either one of those parts of the equation would have an impact on APY.
yeah. So
if
if
you have 400 users, right?
Yeah.
Would it scale to that? Would they still be earning APY if the users 10x? Does the APY can stay consistent at 40%?
Yeah, so the relation
Or
is
whatever
not between users
volatility.
and yeah, sorry. Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
the relation
you were
is
gonna
not. Yeah, okay, sorry. The relation is not user to arbitrage profit. The relation is user to token. So if we have 400 users, but they are all trading a singular pool, then yes, you're right. But that's not the point. Like, we want to expand to other tokens. If we have everyone on the same token, of course, that will be true. There is a lot of people taking a small percentage of the same exact cake, but that's not the case, at least not the vision we have, of course. The vision we have is that every team should create a rift of their leftover supply. So as long as you have the APY, if we ignore volatility, right? We know volatility is a king and is what matters the most. If we ignore that, as long as we have one user per project, I mean, one user. If we have 3 users per project right now, and we have 406 users, and we have 15 projects right now, as long as we have 150 projects, we are going to be making the same exact 40% IPY, as long as the volatility is the same. So it's a relation of user to amount of projects. It's not a relation of user to amount of money made arbitrage.
Okay, we have to wrap this, Dom. I don't know if you have any last question or
40% APY is obviously a extremely attractive yield. What do you think the biggest gap here is? Because I think anyone sees this APY and they want a piece of it. I think
or risks too. Like, is there Oracle risks with the different pricing in the two pools?
Yeah. So like I said, that's why if you see Rift chart, it goes like up and down a lot. That's because many people are actually using the Rift pool itself, right? So the Rifted pool of Rifts. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but they are making the secondary pool of our own token, and there are many people are using it. So that's a perfect example for it, right? The chart struggles to go down because the bot is buying back all the time from the tokens that those people are putting in as a backup. So yeah, we have our own Oracle as well. But like I said, we can't depend solely on that, because that will be only one project that we are getting volatility from. And like you said, like I said earlier, if we have 400 users, what do we need? We need more projects, because if we have 400 users on one singular project, yeah, that's going to be a cake for everyone. So the main thing, like I said, the main growth factor that's going to drive not only revenue, but even more adoption, since we already have good feedback from the 3 teams that we work with, is getting more projects, not only just users, but projects. Because if we have 5 users and 5 projects, we are going to make around the same amount of money that if we have 10 more users, but still 5 projects. That, you know what I mean? That's very important to highlight.
Got it. Well, I think we got a lot of the information that we wanted out of this interview. To be honest, it's been a great interview, great conversation here so far. I guess just as we wrap this up, what are you most excited about? Moving forward, what are you? And 2026 is around the corner. So what does the community have to look forward to?
Yeah, so I think we are most excited about. We are actually going to announce it probably later today, but it's not going to be live. Is referrals. So one of the main things that is going to boost our token and our utility as well, in my opinion, is the fact that if you are not a project owner and you are not looking to use Rift because you like to have your tokens right there, you don't want to put them in a pool because you're scared. So how can you participate in the ecosystem anyways? And you can refer people. So that's what we are working on right now. We are very excited about it because that means we can get users from referrals, and you can make money as a referrer without having to be involved in Rift, without understanding it. You just bring a team to us and we give you a percentage. We can do that now already. We can do it manually, but we want to make it, of course, automated and in a specific way. So that's what I'm most excited about because, like I said, more projects, not just users, but projects is the thing we need the most. And yeah, like I said, the process escalates linearly. The revenue, sorry, escalates linearly with the amount of projects we have. So yeah, 10 times more projects, it means 10 times more revenue, literally.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, hey, appreciate you coming on and sharing all this information about Rifts. I thought it was really interesting protocol when I first saw it. So appreciate you coming on the show and looking forward to seeing what you guys are
We'll
building
keep
out.
an eye. We're gonna keep an eye.
We'll keep an eye on this one for sure.
It's not skepticism. It's just not understanding, I think, how this product works. But we'll keep an eye.
Oh yeah, don't worry. All right.
Great.
Awesome. Appreciate your time, Rifts. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Appreciate you guys as well. Happy Christmas.
Yeah,
Yes,
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Bye.
We
Okay,
wish
that
you a
was,
Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
My brain was definitely melting there for a minute.
Yeah.
I understand what they've done. They've basically taken one token, said, here's a second one. These are going to trade at different things. And our bot is the one that makes the money arbitraging. Then we hand that yield back to people who own the R asset.
And I think the other thing is the explanation of that whole process. I think just needs to be a little bit more simplified for people
Definitely.
to kind of understand. But there was I'm thinking about P's finance, if anybody remembers that on Ethereum. That was, a pretty I love the volatility farming. So I thought it was an interesting project. So I'll keep an eye on it. I'll see how they do here going
Volatility
into the future,
farming. There we go.
I was hoping I was hoping that was said, but maybe I didn't want to, put something on them that they didn't want to represent themselves as,
Peace was very successful back during
Did
the
they
Ethereum
not
days. I
get
haven't checked.
exploited though? I think it got exploited though.
I
Or is
think
that
so.
Beanstalk or something like that? I remember one of these getting
Peapod Finance is what we're talking about. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I don't think P's ever got exploited or anything like that.
Okay.
Not from my knowledge, but that's what my initial excitement was when seeing this. I was like, oh wow, this is like P's on Solana.
How it could go wrong though is there are Oracle attacks where people spoof a price and then drain a pool of some liquidity or something like that at a certain price. That's happened before. So
yeah,
I got to do more research into it, I think.
Yeah, I got to do a little bit more.
Not saying that
myself.
would happen here, just to be clear, but yes, I have seen it.
Yeah. Look, I think it's a pretty interesting concept with, having MEV bots kind of take advantage of different pools and pricing. And there is clearly value to that and they make money. So I got to look more into it.
And if you can allow people to use MEV bots like effectively or use the strategy effectively, I'm all for it, because that strategy has only certain people have made money off that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and they made a lot.
Yeah, and for reference, like P's did they had 60, 70, 80 mil in TVL, like just as recently as a month or two ago, I believe. So I'm just looking at that. I'm like, okay, well, if that's happening on a dead chain, I can only imagine what happens on Solana. But yeah, we'll I'll keep an eye on it. I'll see how things. I like it. They're making some revenue, so I'll keep an eye on it. But otherwise, I think it's overall been a pretty dead market, if I'm not mistaken. Bitcoin just chopping around. Otherwise, not much here. Anything you guys wanted to end on? Anything you guys wanted to address? Because
nope. I do have to bounce here, but Mr. Parabolic asked if we have a TG. We do have a TG, but we are, working on making sure it's perfect and very valuable. So we only release it to those that have notifications on, and we do like 15-minute drops on Twitter. So you got
Yeah, I'll drop it after the stream. So just keep an eye on the X. I mean, I'll say right now, it caught the Impulsor news really well. That alpha was, kind of coming
that was
down,
a
and
3.5x off the bottom.
that was definitely like a solid, 2 to 3x, pretty short time. So I will say the first notification on the MCG Alpha Telegram was successful. So if you're a part of it, then you would have caught that. But
yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much that. I mean, look, Bitcoin price action continues to, showcase the BART. It's BART season, guys. That's really all it is. It's
look at
BART
these
season,
crime
so-
candles. Like, it's just like, can nothing trade organically, or are we
You want to
just
talk
like,
about crime candles? Did you guys see Pippin?
Pippin? Yeah, I covered that. I think it was
goodness.
on Monday.
Did they get a
Yeah,
Robinhood listing?
No,
Was
there's
that
no
real?
way they got. There's no way they got a Robinhood.
you want to,
There's-
do you have a chart of it?
I'm about to pull up a chart right now.
Oh, I mean, the chart's insane, bro. This is one that was hot during AI season, and I just feel like if I would have held that, my portfolio would look a little better right now.
Holy moly, look at this thing.
Oh my goodness.
500.
I don't even want to look at charts that I don't own.
So let's see. We are up. Let's see
Look at
here.
that.
We are up
Cabal season,
over
baby.
23x in less than a month. So all you had to do to outperform everything was buy a dead AI coin from last AI season, and you'd be up 23x on your money.
Man,
in
who's
24
caballing
days.
this thing, dude? Who's caballing
Somebody
this thing?
cornered 75% of the supply. 75%.
But still, to psyop anyone else into buying the remaining supply at a 400 million valuation is like wild to me. This is an incredible.
I mean, at this
is
point,
top-tier
people are
cabal.
just. I mean, at this point, people are just they're just trading the volatility, right? Like, I mean,
This is revenge trading. These are like button clickers that are like just trying to hit the next thing, and yeah,
literally, dude, literally.
Crazy, though.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, though. Like, Bitcoin.
Ave had this ICM news real quick, just for Ave.
Yeah.
Cover this because you were right on this for.
I'm gonna let you guys rock this out. I'm gonna catch you
All
guys.
right,
Okay.
see you, Dom.
Peace.
Deuces, bro. Yeah, I mean, look, I wanted to just like bring this out real quick because right here, bam, you see where we are? See where we are on this chart? This is why I'm not really like confident. I've been posting and talking about this bear flag that we're forming, and literally we just bounced off of the bottom side with the bearish retest to the downside of the bear flag. So as you can see over here, and as you can see right here, that's basically where we are. And so in my eyes, over the course of the remainder of December, going into January, that's kind of the price action that I'm expecting. So we'll see how things play out. But yeah, not much to cover this week. I guess Ave had something on ICM. Let's go over to ICM real quick. I'll pull up their Twitter and see what news that they had coming up. Let's see.
Staking.
So I'm looking. He said staking this week. Recent news.
Can you pull your Twitter? You have Trading View still.
Yeah, I'm still looking for a tweet. Let me see. I don't see any tweets, but what I can do, since there are no tweets, I can the ICM chart real quick.
Yeah, and there's also the fair fund, I believe. We saw the world premiere of that product at Met Dobby, so good for us. I think Dom and me were like two of the first invites ever to that platform. So I'm trying to see if they've tweeted that out.
Rambo says sweep 80K all-time high Q1. Yeah, pretty much. Let me see here. Yeah, so I'm looking at here's the ICM chart, guys. This is the chart that I was looking for. Just been, to be honest, kind of bleeding out a little bit here, but coming to an area of interest. Been like one that is good to chart on, if that makes sense. Some of this price action is just kind of hard to map out some levels on this. Still bullish on ICM though. Long term, great. As we know what Mercy is going what Mercy is working on. We know that they've incubated CPT, which we are all bullish on. They have CPT in the treasury as well. So yeah, it could be a really good buy here. Potentially.
So I'll add to this. This here, Fair.Club, is the, I believe, next incubation by ICM Run. It used to be something Matrix One. I think the guy who talked about this is Studholm. So here is a clip, but there's a talk that he delivered at Met Dobby unveiling the product. Also, Mercy did a talk at Met Dobby highlighting what Fair Club is. From my understanding in conversations with Mercy is that they want to have certain key token holders get access to opportunities that have a proven track record of being long-term holders, long-term aligned content creators like ourselves, and other like accretive things that make a great token holder versus the extractive, buy in and then sell it, as soon as you make money, I guess, right away kind of thing. So I don't know exactly the details. You guys can go. I do recommend watching Studholm's talk here at Met Dobby, which will give you all the different information. Obviously, we've not had a great, we've 3 great launch pads, I would say right now. We have Street, which is coming. We have MetaDAO, Soar. You could add maybe Star to that category, and then maybe Fair.Club is the 5th. But yeah, I'm kind of bullish, like whitelisted launch pads. I feel like no one's really done this. Gate who can join it, whitelist addresses of core tastemakers, and let the snipers just watch from the sidelines.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So yeah, I mean, look, can't wait to see what they have coming.
Yeah. Cool, guys. Well, we'll end her there. Just looking at notifications, I think a lot of stuff. Go watch the CPT segment. This was crazy. I need to go watch it back to pick up a few key tidbits of information. Right now, I think it's sold off a little bit from, I think, just some of the skepticism around this being a working kind of technology. However, any evidence or proof that this works, this technology works, and something like this could go from, let's say, 3 million to like 300 million pretty quick. So not saying that it's going to happen, but any proof of concept, any live demo, any real use case, a contract, anything, they could announce anything around this that has that kind of asymmetric upside, and this thing might reprice much higher. They have patents or filing patents around the IP. Obviously, Patrick Sang has a reputation of bringing companies public on the NASDAQ and running them up to a $10 billion valuation. So keep an eye on CPT, man. Keep it on a chart. Thursday, Chill, thank you for pulling this up. Thursday, we have Chill. This is actually a favorite of yours, Repo.
Yeah. Thursday is going to be a pretty big day, guys. So we have Repo coming on. Really great AI project. One that I want to. It's basically like as you can see here, training data network powered by prediction markets. I did a thread on this one, and honestly, I can't wait to interview them because from what I've seen on the white paper, look, literally just read the white paper. You'll understand why I'm excited. But Q1 will be a very, very, very big quarter for this project. So this is a prime time to get them on. Can't wait to interview them. Tomorrow we have Repo. We have bit.labs as well. I've been seeing this around, basically a marketing studio, or I should say a gaming studio that launched on Soar. And then we also have a MetaDAO project, a popular one, Solo. We had Solomon Labs on, we've had Ranga on before, but the boys will be coming back again tomorrow at 2 p.m. So very, very big stream tomorrow. Had a great stream today. And look, we'll get out a schedule for Friday as well. So to stay up to date, you want to follow the MCG live account. We are on our way to 7,000 followers. We have 2,000 of you, well, almost 2,500 at this point, well over 2,500 of you guys listening to us live. So follow the MCG account, turn on notifications to be notified of when we go live, be notified of when some of these scheduling updates come out, and you'll also see a host of other great content. So looking forward to tomorrow's stream. Appreciate you guys as well.
I have to
What's up,
shout this
Josh?
out because I just saw it on my screener, but Virus actually catching a bid here. Chart looks pretty bottomed. I know that they had committed about 400 grand to buybacks, I believe, or 800K to buybacks. So it's catching a bid here, kind of consolidating from the period back in the summer. The new game is coming. Jail.fun is coming out. And I just wanted to flag it because anytime you see a little bit of action, I don't know what Jail.fun is going to be. I don't know if the game will have traction, but they made a bunch of money with Addicted.fun. Obviously, the market's in a totally different state. But I did meet Tuna at Met Dobby, and he was going around Breakpoint. He has pictures with like Anatoly, or I believe Raj, and showed Raj apparently Jail.fun, and he liked it. So just keep an eye. I want the clip so that if this does run, you heard it here on MCG. But yeah.
Yeah, you want to monitor this one. Definitely one for the watch list. But you heard it here first. Ton of breaking news happening on our show, as usual, to be honest. So all 2,530 plus of you guys watching. We appreciate you all. We love you all. We thank you for watching today. And we look forward to an awesome stream tomorrow. Many more good streams to come. And about to be a huge 2026. All right, guys. GG's. Stay safe.